What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast / Philly the Podcast. We are live on 2 channels. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And again, I go by Philly Mike. This is Philly the Podcast. So let's skip us and go to them two down there. Introduce yourself for people who don't know.
Take it away, Tom.
Oh, you want me over? What up? What up, peeps? Tom Arnone, ATD Radio. I'm here. We're ready to talk Eagles. We're ready to talk misses. Let's go.
Yes, sir, man. RB, Philly take with RB. Let's get it cracking, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock.
Definitely. And guys and gals in the chat, definitely make sure you go ahead and check all these guys out. Philly the Podcast, A2D2 Radio. You know who they are. They've been in the business for a long time. And then Philly Take with RB. But let's start with the draft because that's what everybody in the chat came for. That's why we're all here. That's why we can't sleep at night, because as much as we are excited, there's something in the back of our head that we all know. RB elaborated in a video he posted about an hour or two ago. But go ahead, Philly the Podcast. Joe, let me know your instant thoughts on 2 days from now.
I think you said it the best. Who's going to be sleeping these next 2 days? Now, I mean, realistically, like, the closer I get to the season, the more unrealistic I get as a fan. So, like, right now, I'm still at the point that I know Howie's probably going to do some stuff that I don't like. But I'm starting to feel like this is, and I hate to use this word, but I'm starting to feel like it's idiot-proof. There's so many players at 12 that I will be okay with. You know, he's really going to have to, basically go on Twitter, see what everybody hates, and do exactly that for me to really be that upset this year. I'm sure he'll figure out a way, but like right now, I'm not too worried as far as the first round goes. Obviously, once you get a little deeper in the draft, you know, we'll see what happens, but I'm trying to stay positive. I'll say that much. I'm definitely trying to stay positive.
Go ahead, RB.
Well, for once, you know, usually I'm the reactionary type of person. I'll be honest, guys. Like, I'm not getting my hopes up. The doofus in charge. We know what he's going to do, all right? The guy can't hit on a draft pick. And like you said earlier in my video, we've been overthinking this, man. And it hit me yesterday. I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, I want a wide receiver. I want a linebacker. I want Micah Parsons. I want Devontae Smith. We are so blinded to the fact that Howie Roseman is going to take an offensive lineman. He is going to take an offensive lineman because that's what he does. 20 of the last 27 first rounders have been O-linemen. We need to rebuild. It starts up front in the trenches. We all want this sexy pick. He's going to take an O-lineman, or that guy, Quiddy Pay. We might take a defensive lineman just to mess with us. But we will take – I'm 99% sure we're going to take a lineman. And for once, I'm going to take a step back and not be delusional anymore. That's just how I see it. And by the way, we're not moving back up into the top 10. It makes no sense at all. No sense at all.
There you go. Tom?
Oh, man. I mean, if they even consider moving up in the top 10, I'm going to freak out because I know what that's for. And we are not in a position to draft a quarterback this year. That's their decision, not mine, not ours, not the fans. You went and drafted guy 53. You went and took a $32 million cap hit. I don't care what position you draft. Stay the hell away from quarterback so I don't have to get arrested. I want to be hopeful, but I just know, and we all know because we've heard it from legitimate sources in the know, that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, more Jeffrey Lurie, has his handprints all over rounds 1 and 2. While that, as long as that's still here, I have zero confidence. This should be a can't miss. You're going to fall into Devontae Smith, Surtain, Parsons. I mean, you can name 5 guys that are going to be there. Waddle if you like them, right? The Joker if you like them. Like, there's 5 guys that you can name that are going to be that are impactful players. Why are we going to miss again? How are we going to do this again? Again, it's a layup. If Devontae Smith is there, I don't care if he's 150. Chad Johnson was 125. Marvin Harrison, soaking wet, was 170. I don't want to hear it. Go draft the best player available, and can we go to sleep one night feeling good?
Yeah, and I want to say something real quick, just to piggyback off of what RB was saying with the whole offensive lineman. I agree with you 100%. Honestly, though, I would be okay with that as long as it's not like Elijah Vera Tucker or I'm forgetting his name, the guy with the glasses. Christian Darrisaw would be somebody as well. But there's another guy that is climbing up draft boards because he pancake sacked a couple guys in his highlights. But either way, I would be okay with certain positions because I feel like they know certain positions, right? But like somebody like a Quiddy Pay, I feel like is a reach. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a lot of these guys that we're bringing up are just reaches, and it's like you said, we are overthinking it. But maybe he's being smart. Maybe he is, kind of throwing up smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there any? Because I feel like as Eagles fans, we are at the point, rightfully so, that we just don't trust anything he's going to do. Right? Like, it is what it is. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's right. We've seen him mess up time and time again. So it's like, I want to hope that he's doing it right. Like I just saw something saying that Waddle is better than Chase to Miami. So maybe they know more than we know. I'm hoping that's the only reason I'm trying to stay positive. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm probably the only one trying to stay positive at this time.
Nah, I also want to touch on what RB said, and my mindset's been that way. Last year I was a lot different when it came to the draft. I was doing a lot more mock drafts. I was doing a lot more player profiles. But then I said, you know what? It takes time to do that. It takes time. As we talk backstage, I got kids. We got the regular general news I'm trying to get out to you guys. The Sixers are actually playing some good ball. I didn't do the player profiles like last year because I'm not going to talk about the guys that we're not going to get. Philly take with RB. He went deep. He said 20 out of the 27. I talked about on one of my last videos that 7 out of the last 9 were both either one or the other, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, minus the Carson Wentz move up and the Jalen Reagor pick last year. And how he might say, you know what, with all these misses, with all these trying to be cute, he might go back to that Andy Reid era. And when you look at our offensive line right now, yes, for 2021, if healthy, and that's if is the biggest word, you got Jason Kelce, you got a possible Brandon Brooks. He didn't get hurt yet. It's still the offseason. Who knows? Lane Johnson and all of them. So when you look on paper, you have a upper echelon offensive line, but that is going in. Your offensive line is going to start being either old or more injured in the next 2 to 3 years. So if you're really trying to say we got 3 picks, we want to believe in Jalen Hurts, let's build for the future, it wouldn't be wrong if a Rashad Slater fell. If a Penny Sewell was there, like I said, I'm not saying these things are true, but you can get an offensive line in this draft early, and I can still feel a little happy. Yes, it's not the sexy name, but it's not reaching for the Christian Darisauls, the Vera Tuckers, and that's where I get nervous. And the Quiddy Pay thing, wherever you say his name, I don't want to learn his name. Hopefully, I don't need to. I don't want to do it because.
No, Mike. I just you just brought up Andy Reid, and that's a great point. Like back in the day, I'm all for it. Go tackle, go DN, go interior offensive line, go offensive tackle, because he always hit on them for the most part, besides Danny Watkins. But like these guys haven't. Like I don't care which way they go punter. They can't hit on anything. I mean, Derek Barnett, people told me he was Reggie White. He's been a guy. It's so bad. But I agree with you guys. That's the direction they love to go when in doubt.
Yeah, and it's very hard because of the fact that we're in this spot where we can use some of them foundational pieces on the offensive line if it hits, but we're so depressed with talent, playmaker wise. We are unsure of our quarterback, which I'm a big stand of. Let him try. You done changed the whole script of Philadelphia by drafting Jalen Hurts. Why would you just end it before you can even see? Because let's be honest, nobody can look at them 4 games to say he was great or not, because he played 2 games at a high level and 2 games at a below level. But you got to put everything into consideration. His rookie, 4 games, COVID season, all that plays a part. Plus, we were a dumpster fire of a team, just pretty much tug of war on each other, seeing who was going to win out of Doug Pederson or Howie Roseman. But RB is looking like I'm just ready to watch this draft relax like this.
Yeah, let me comment on like what everyone's saying, because I agree. But let me also say, like, I don't know how you guys feel. I'm still mad that we moved out of the number 6 pick. Like, yeah, the future looks bright, but in my eyes, like, nothing's ever certain. You had a chance to take a generational talent. Now some of them might not be on the board. But here's my thing about the offensive lineman. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that's a bad choice. But let me just say this. It better be the best player available. Like, if Devontae Smith falls to number 12, I don't care about the weight, all right? Are you going to bank on a guy's weight or on his ability to play? You know what I mean? Because last year, we saw what happened with Jalen Reagor. people argue he could have went 10 spots under where he went. Devontae Smith can run routes. The dude can catch. What has been our problem? We can't catch a ball. Devontae Smith has sure hands, and I'm not going to say, this guy's not going to work out because he's X amount of pounds. You know what I mean? Like, guys put on weight. That's what happens when you get to the league and get up with the big boys. But yeah, it better be your best player available, because we had a chance to take Jamar Chase. We had a chance to maybe take Sewell, and we passed that up. That's also why I could see us moving back. We may collect more picks. I'm still mad that we did it, but at the end of the day, we have to get a playmaker. I'm tired of missing. Tom talked about some of the guys. We still don't know what the hell Andre Dillard is. What is he? We had Jordan Mailata on a run. What did we do? We took him out, and his mojo's messed up. I don't really see him coming back to full form like he was. It's just a bad situation, but we have to hit on the pick, man. There's no more excuses. We can't have another flop of a first rounder.
Yeah, and I will say this, like, this draft is probably the most nerve-wracking draft for any team, just because we talk about, Jalen Hurts only had 4 games. Most of these college players, if these top prospects played, they played like 8 games last year, so we're going off of somebody like a Kyle Pitts, who played probably his best football last year, and it was only 8 games, realistically. So, like, in his sophomore season, he played well as well, but we're really banking on that 8 games, Same thing kind of with like Zach Wilson or Kyle Wilson. What's his name? I don't know his name. I don't want. He's one of those guys. I don't want to learn his name either. So, you know what I'm saying? But some of these quarterbacks, you're going off of very minimal stuff. Some of these players, you're looking at minimal stuff. Micah Parsons, Jalen Waddle, even. The list goes on. Even Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith, realistically, might not have been who Devontae Smith is right now if Jalen Waddle stood healthy. And that's something realistic to look at. So, to your point, RB, we might be just looking at like, all right, we're going to take calls at 12 because we don't know who's out there. We don't trust ourselves picking a player out here. So, like, maybe they go to 15 and say, all right, now we have a buttload of picks next year. We can really do some scouting. Football should be normal again. Maybe that's what they're doing. I hated the trade. Like, I don't curse on my channel, and I think that was like the first time I had a whole mental breakdown. You know what I'm saying? So I hated the trade mainly just because it's like, especially as a fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were settled. We were arguing between Micah Parsons, Jamar Chase, and Kyle Pitts, and you named the player at 6, and now we're arguing over positional guy. Like, we're not even saying names realistically because we don't know what's going to happen. We're just saying, we should go linebacker or we should go cornerback. Like, I like JC Horn and I like Patrick Surtain, but damn, man, Jamar Chase would have been very nice. Jamar Chase would have been very, very nice. And if he falls to us, God bless you, Howie. You knew something we didn't. But I just don't see it, and I don't want to, for another night, you know what I'm saying? We went through a terrible season. Let us have that one good, first round where we're not waiting till the back end of the draft and you're continuously trading back. And we're sitting there like, oh, okay, so we're not going to get this guy. Oh, okay, so we're not going to get the. It sucks. And I understand we're just fans. We're not, guys that are making decisions at the end of the day. But, realistically, we've been right most of the time. Go ahead, my bad.
No, I think there's only one person making decisions. Howie Roseman.
And I think what you're trying to also allude to is it's really hard to miss the number 6 pick. You know what I mean? There's so much talent there. You're going to probably land, unless it's just like one of them historical terrible picks. You're probably going to land with a star, right? But number 12, you get in those muddy waters. So,
well, I mean, let's hope this. There's 2 things we can hope for. Right. We got to hope, because I think both these guys are gold jackets waiting to happen. Right. And I don't say that very often about prospects. I'm not that guy. It is gold. Micah Parsons is a gold jacket waiting to happen. I've said it on numerous shows now. He's jumped my board big time. I've always had him in my top 5, but he's my number 2 talent in this draft outside of Trevor Lawrence. This guy, and welcome to the NFL. I mean, rookie, welcome to the NFL. You saw, if Nick likes rock, paper, scissors, Micah Parsons is your guy because he wants to keep bowling. He wants to compete in badminton. Anything you want to do with Micah Parsons, he wants to compete with you. I think he changes your defense and turns him into a top 10 defense the second he walks into a locker room. He exudes confidence. And guess what? If you draft guys over bringing them home to mommy and daddy, you're drafting a bad football team. He's going to be the Warren Sapp and the Randy Moss of this draft. He's going to drop because of extra stuff. a little butt stuff, right? And he's going to drop because of whatever weird stuff he may or may not have done. And guess what? I scoop him. The other guy we got to hope for, guys, is Devontae drops because of his size. Both of them guys are can't miss talents, and you might be able to get him at 12. But to your guys' point, you definitely could have got one at 6. Mm-hmm. You definitely were walking away with one at 6.
Now, I want to ask y'all a question. I want to ask y'all a question. I want to ask all y'all a question. If we would have done the same trade, if this trade would have still happened, but it would have happened Thursday, would you have been okay with the trade? Like, would you have been more happy with the trade? Is it a bad trade because of the timing, or is it just a bad trade?
It's a good trade because, I mean, we need more players, right? And we need more stars. So they acquire another first-round pick. I'm all for that at this point, right? But I think, like I said, I think it's deeper than that. I think it's money reasons, right? It's never like, oh, I want more. Well, first off, it's assets because we're all nerds. Like, give me more assets, right? But it's the money side of it. Because of the cap situation, the difference from 6 to 12 is at least a couple $1 million. And they're looking to save money any way they can. So instead of them saying, you know what, I want to land a star. I need an all-pro. I need a guy who's gold jacket, plays for 12 years. No, they say, let me save a couple million, acquire some assets for next year, and we're good.
Yeah, but Tom, and everybody else on the panel, how close are you going to pay attention to who's on the board at 6? Like, is that still in your mind? Because, like I said, listen, let me be honest. I'm sitting here now with it not happening. But if Kyle Pitts and Jamar Chase are off the board, yes, and I agree with most of the things you said about Micah Parsons, and I hope that plays in our favor where he's around there, even though linebacker in the first round does not cross Howie Roseman's mind. And the only thing, and again, I'm more like RB, I'm going to be relaxed, you know what I mean? But I am baking on the fact that Howie Roseman heard all these reports. Shout out to Zach Berman with The Athletic and all that. So, I mean, it's like a now or never for him to just prove somebody wrong for at least this draft, because I don't think in his tenure he survived Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Doug Pederson, and he's always been fire Howie, but I don't think he's ever been. You don't go to Philly, you didn't hear it in the Phillies game like in the past, like now. You know, we were kind of happy Howie came back when Chip Kelly ruined the team. So I think this is the biggest doghouse he's been since being kicked out for Kip Kelly. I can't even say his name right. Chip Kelly. I'm saying jelly and peanut butter and all that. So, but how close are you guys going to pay attention to the 6th pick?
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be that meme, just like around the corner, looking like. I mean, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck either way. And that's not gonna be a one night thing. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna ask me that probably in a couple of years as well. So it sucks.
I got like 2 or 3 things to say too, because like you guys just keep bouncing thoughts, and I'm just thinking of stuff. Number one, to that point that you just made, and you know what's going to happen, right? And this is another reason why I was pissed off about the trade. Devontae Smith is going to fall to pick 11. Guess who's going to take him? The Giants. Guys, Micah Parsons is going to fall to pick 11. Guess who's going to take? You know what I mean? Like, this was our one piece of leverage, and we saw what happened last year, and it's just bringing up bad kind of memories for me. That's another reason I was pissed. But your question about would I be more, relaxed about it if it was on draft night? I think I would. Now, it depends how much we get, but here's the thing. You're going to get more on draft night. They did it way too early. Teams are desperate. They're to the last minute, to the last second. They're saying, yo, we'll offer you this. We'll offer you that. We're trying to move up. They did it a month early, and it's like, okay, come on, man. Come on.
RB, what would New England maybe give the jump up for a quarterback in that spot, right?
And especially, and they're hearing more information. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff changes every day. Huh?
RB, you're right. We might accumulate more stuff, but listen to this. So the Eagles are on the clock, and Jamar Chase is sitting there, but the so-called Patriots offer is so good, and you're waiting to hear Jamar Chase, and they come out and say the Eagles traded the pick.
And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Howie is not escaping that. Yeah. If Jamar Chase is on the board and he picks no-name sister from Western Kentucky, there's no escaping that. There's no escape. But here at pick 12, maybe they'll pan out, maybe they won't. And the last thing I want to say is to Tom, and I agree about your point, like we need talent on talent on talent. But here's the thing. I still don't trust the future first-round pick. And my favorite, and you didn't say this, but other people, well, if Carson plays 70% of his game, We know Carson best. He gets injured. So we're banking on 70%. No, we have a generational talent sitting in front of our lap, and we just gave it up.
RB, think about it. RB, I mean, think about it. Like, I don't trust him one bit. You could have 50. You could have 15 next year, and I'm going to say miss. Let's just keep going through it. So they can whatever they do. I don't trust it. To your point, you're 100% spot on because you had a chance for generational at 6. I don't know if with their track record. I don't know if generational's there at 12. I don't know if they're smart enough. They can't get out of their own way. They're going to draft Rashawn Slater over like Parsons, Surtain, or Smith, and it's going to be an issue here.
That would be, like I said, if Rashawn Slater's there and so for some reason Devontae went to the Giants, or then it's a different issue. But I agree 100%. Them guys, you can't miss on that. And I was saying the same thing when this first happened. I was trying to every time I try to talk myself into okay, I finish with the plan is good. The plan of having a possible 3 first-round picks and all this, it's good if you got someone that can execute it. Like the plan is good for a great GM. You know, how did Miami turn it around with the picks? And Cleveland, I know they took a little longer, but once they started getting them picks within the last 2 to 3 years, they turned it around.
Baltimore's hitting all 3.
But you gotta have somebody to execute it. And what did he do since coming back? Other than a Super Bowl year, which that was mainly more sign on a dotted line. He crushed that with trades and free agencies, bro. Alshon, Torrey Smith, Chris Long, Patrick Robertson, like you name it, we bought it. We didn't draft it, we bought it. So it comes to like how are we going to execute this?
And my thing is the mentality behind it. So like it's one thing that if you're saying let's build up for the future so we can build up for the quarterback we have. But I feel like they did this with the mindset of if this quarterback sucks, we're just going to use these next 3 picks and go get a quarterback. So that's like you're basically cutting your own nose to spite your face, right? Or whatever the saying is. It's like that's grimy. Like you're doing it to another quarterback. Like let's not get him weapons now. Let's get prepared in case he sucks. Like what type of mentality is that? Like that's, I'm not one to trust me. You guys know how I feel about Carson Wentz. I'm not going to go into it, but I can understand that. Seeing that visual is like the most grimy thing in the world. I would feel some type of way if you did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're already getting ready just in case you have to get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a little bit different because he's still a rookie. He's not on really a second contract or big contract, but like, damn, man, can we just like be chill for a little while? It's the city of brotherly love. Like, I feel like everybody's just backstabbing each other in the front office and in the locker room. Like, we hear all these rumors. Like, this is the craziest year. Like, we've all sat here and talked to different reporters. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Joe Giglio, whether it's Keith Pompey, you know what I'm saying, Zach Berman, whoever it is, we've all talked to different people. And they seem like nice guys, but I can't trust anything that anybody says this year because it's like, where is this coming from? Because everything people say like contradicts each other. It's just, I don't know. I don't know.
There's only one thing that they get together, and that's Howie Roseman. It all falls back to Howie Roseman.
How do you not like? I can't anymore. I really can't. Every other year, guys, I'm okay with you saying, nah, I don't want to announce who my quarterback is. Everybody knows who he is, right? Everybody usually knows. Okay. If you don't know, you stink. Simple. If you're telling me there's quarterback competition in your room, you stink. You're not a good football team. It's not how this league works. So the fact that you can't, for 1 year, say, yeah, Jalen's our guy, we're going to go to work, right? You really can't give him that boost of confidence, like at all? Like, I don't understand. You drafted him. You said Russell Wilson. You said, not me. And now you can't say, that's our guy. You're going to actually lie to us and say, he's going to compete with who? Joe Flacco? Yeah, I went to school with Joe. I played football with Joe. He's 36 years old. Ain't no competing. And guess what? If you all think he's going to mentor the kid, I think we're all out of our minds. We're all out of our minds. That's not his thing. It's not what he wants to do. Like, it's a great check. It's a backup quarterback role. I think it helps. But that's my question to you guys. Like, how do you not announce that? And are you guys okay with that?
Real quick, shout out to Kavan with the $1.99 super chat. He said, what up, guys? Thanks for going live. And definitely everybody in here, smash the like button. And when this is over, subscribe to all the channels on the panel. It's down there in the thing that moves around. I don't know what it's called, but To me, I'm back and forth for the fact that it sounds stupid. It sounds like you got a young coaching staff. You're talking about rebuild, and you bring probably top 10 oldest quarterback in here to talk about we're going to have competition with him. It just makes you look dumb because you can preach it's a core value. And Nick Sirianni, I'm not going to get into that, but you can preach all this competition, but it's like, really though, Joe Flacco, he went to Denver for the job, lost it to a guy who they want out. He went to the Jets for a job, lost it to a guy who they just replaced. So everywhere he goes, he can't beat the Sam Darnolds of the world, the Drew Locks of the world. But we're going to get a lot of power in saying Jalen Hurts has to go against Joe Flacco 101. Winner gets to start week 1, and then we'll go from there. Like, nah, it just doesn't sound good. I mean, I'd rather you say quarterback competition with Nate Sudfeld, a young guy who we never even seen. You know what I mean? Not Joe Flacco 30 years later. So I agree with that. Go ahead, guys.
All I'll say is, this organization is so ass backwards. I've been saying it for months. The Eagles will not succeed until Howie is gone. Like, don't you guys notice, like, there was a bunch of problems. We got rid of all of them. We hit the reset, but we stopped it at 90%. The last guy has to go. It should have been a full reset. And all these problems are partially at least stemming from Howie Roseman. And the problem is that you got people that say, oh, let's go look at a quarterback. These are the same people that justified the Jalen Hurts draft pick. Oh, Carson Wentz is looking suspect. Let's move up. Oh, Howie Roseman made I had people coming at me months after. Look how smart this pick was, it turned out. 4 games. The guy had 4 games, and he was put in the worst situation a rookie could ever be put in. Now we want to go for another quarterback. His middle name is Quarterback Factory. It's Howie Quarterback Factory Howie Quarterback Controversy Roseman.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to stop. Like, this is why I don't understand why people want more picks and more picks. I don't trust the man picking the players. This man literally said on the radio, we are a quarterback factory. That should tell you all you need to know. After he signed a guy to a $130 million contract, there is no way to justify that. Like, I know we want to have optimism, but for once, I'm being an objective fan, and I'm just like if I'm looking at this from another fan base, like, what are they doing? What the second round?
Better than everybody. You really sit there and think you're better than everybody. You think that you can go draft a quarterback at 53 and your quarterback's not throwing shit around in his house. Like who do you think you are? You can preach competition all you want. You don't compete at the quarterback position. You have your franchise guy, and I'm not saying I like that, but it's a prima donna position in the NFL. Like, guys don't like that stuff. So if you go draft guys replacements, Aaron Rodgers of the world can handle it. He's a GOAT. Right, but for Carson, he's been through so much of the guy behind him. You had to just let him breathe, and they refused to do it. And I think part of that led to his struggles too.
And you know what's funny? Each move that he does builds on how bad the last one was. He signs the contract. All right, let me go ahead and draft the quarterback. That shows how incompetent you were signing that contract. All right, let me go ahead and talk about trading up for another quarterback. Well, that just shows how bad your last pick was. You see what I mean? Like, it builds on it. But, like, it's just not. We just keep saying it, but it's like,
and
it's ridiculous.
It's not even just like the media. It's within our house too. Like, you'll hear Jeffrey Lurie says we want to go with Hurts. Then you hear Howie Roseman come back and say no, this is what we're. And it's like, how are those like? I've worked 9 to 5. We've all worked 9 to 5 jobs. If I go into my 9 to 5 job and my boss says go do this, and I say no, I think I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to get fired, and shout out to Howie Roseman. Like, real talk, the one thing I will say about him is he is probably the one man in the world that can create his own job. And, that's one thing, that's the American dream, right? That's what you want to do. He can create a problem that only he can solve, because that's what he did with this cap situation. And I don't even want to say he's the only one that can solve it, but nobody's going to want to come into this. Nobody's going to want to deal with this. Nobody's going to want to have to, Nick Sirianni, I don't want to say that he's a yes man because I don't know. And I'm going to hope that he's not. But it seems like it. It seems more and more that things keep going. It's starting to seem more and more like it. Like, it doesn't seem like, and this is going to sound a little harsh, but even that last press conference, I liked his energy and everything. But looking at how we look at Nick Sirianni, it was like, look at my monkey go. Like, that's kind of, those guys.
Did you see how he no, did you? We're sorry to interrupt you, but like, I watched the Rock Paper Scissors clip 100 times, And did you see the look on Howie Roseman's face
he's
as
just
he's
like
just
that
neck
monkey.
broken looking at Nick, and he's laughing, and he's laughing, but it's a weird laugh. It's like a like, yeah, go. I don't know. It was bad. It was bad. The laughter really was bad, and it's funny because all these reports came out, right? The Athletic tried to put like a really good piece together where it's not like the guys who are anonymous source. They try to really put it together off of, this, that, and the third, talking to this person, months of really going through it. And Howie's like, you know what? It's kind of growing some legs. Let's call a little draft press conference real quick and let my guy Nick Sirianni here drink all the bang you can get. And he went to work, and took the light off Howie Roseman. We were talking about Nick Sirianni, the rock paper scissors shoot. Now I'm not really on that. What do they call them people? Conspiracy theory thing, but like, hey, would it put it past Howie Roseman to pull anything he can pull to get the limelight off him up until draft time?
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect, like RB. What RB said, I never really thought of that, and that's probably the smartest thing I never thought of, because I think of some smart things. But no, when you said like he moved back to kind of get the heat off himself, like that's true. That's a very true point, because it's. Especially, we all say, oh, he's not going to be the GM, making those picks next year. That's hopeful thinking. You know what I'm saying? This man has been here like 22 years. I think this is his 21st season or something like that. Like this man's not going nowhere. He started off as like an intern. This man is not going anywhere. At the very worst, he's going to get demoted. Like that's the most that will happen. Like, and even with Doug Pederson, I feel like that's what was the breakup. I feel like they were afraid to give Doug more power because of what happened to Chip, which is unfair. And Howie Roseman is the benefactor of that. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And it sucks. It sucks seeing him like just continuously make dumb decisions and say dumb things. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see you say some dumb things here and there, but after like 20 years of doing the same damn thing and being in basically the same role for like that whole time, you moved up and everything, but you were always in the same kind of role. And it's like, you just do you not listen to what you say? Sometimes it's frustrating, you know what I'm saying? Because then you have to like explain what they're saying to other fan bases, and then you start sounding delusional. So it's rough.
Well, what happened after 2017? I mean, like Jay just said it in the super chat, right? I mean, after 2017, Jeffrey Lurie became Jerry Jones. He wants control, and I don't think Howie was bad at drafting earlier on in his career. I think he learned a lot from Andy. I think Chip made a lot of picks that ended up panning out and helping. But I don't think it's Howie that needs the control. I think it's Jeffrey that needs the control. So, like, we put a lot of blame on Howie, and rightfully so, right? But when the guy that your boss is saying, like, like draft day, like, I want this quarterback, does he have the balls to say, like, no, this is the guy? Like, this is the guy. I don't know if he ever is going to have it after 22 years, Joe. And guys, how does he not? Like, how can't you go have dinner with a guy and say, Jeff, do you want to get back to Broad Street?
You know what my problem is? Like this whole and to what Philly said, like Howie's not going to go until he wants to leave. He's not going to go. And what's crazy, in the exit press conferences, Jeffrey Lurie literally like called Howie out multiple times, but he never said his name. He said our personnel team, our personnel department, our analytics staff. Oh, we did this. We tried to run it back. Our personnel staff or whatever didn't do enough to we tried to run it back. We didn't try to get younger at the same time, but he never will assign blame or to himself either. But that's just adding on to what Tom says, really.
But yeah, I've never said accountability more than I have this season. Like that's like the most annoying. It's like we're all grown men. Just say I messed up, and that's the same thing I had an issue with Carson. It's like, I don't want to keep hearing that you're going to get better. I want you to admit that, not even admit. I want you to acknowledge what went wrong. You know what I'm saying? Not that, hey, we're going to get better. We're going to do this.
First step to recovery.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that every week. Like and this is the first time I really feel like that, to be honest. I feel like we've always had some type of leadership that at least kind of reins it in. You know what I'm saying? At some point, like I feel like we won that Super Bowl off of the team type atmosphere. We always kind of find ourselves in the playoff hunt because of that, even if we're not the greatest of teams. But this year, it felt like it just all fell apart. It just felt like everybody said it's not my fault. Out of the rookies, to be honest, you say Jalen Hurts, all these rookies were put in a terrible position. Like, there is no win situation here. Like, Kayvon Wallace couldn't see the field.
Are you going to listen to your coach that? Sorry, Joe. Are you going to listen to your coach that you know's out the door? Like that your GM and owner don't trust it. The guys who write your checks don't trust in your coach. Like, there's no accountability there. So, like, Doug's at a Super Bowl, but he has no power. So, I mean, what people? Oh, he doesn't get players better, dude. He has no say in anything. He's another. They tried to make him a little puppet, and Doug's a grown ass man and said no. Like, I don't know what else to say to people. This is going to be one of the worst firings of all time. I'm telling people, this guy just won football games. He created a culture of toughness, and it's sad that we're sitting here and talking. Like, Nick Sirianni doesn't feel real to me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel real yet. Like, how do we fire a guy after he's going to the playoffs every year, but last year with numerous injuries, bad draft picks, and we put the draft picks on Doug? I've heard people say this straight face. Guys go, well, he doesn't put his players in a good spot to succeed. Excuse me. Talent oversees everything. I say it in basketball all the time too. If you got talent, I don't care if me or you are coaching, they're going to win you games.
Yeah, I would have to say though, basketball is a little bit more talent takes over than football. But I agree with that. And here's the thing though, but I do want to touch on Jake Hill's thing one more time. But real quick, how do you get blamed for not being able to coach your team up, put your team in better situations when analytics and Howie Roseman is really overseeing everything? So here's the thing, and I didn't like Doug Pederson saying I want to keep my guys in Press Taylor because I had problem with certain people, but I do understand what Doug's saying. If I'm going to do bad, I want to do bad on my own. But the thing is, Doug got considered a bad coach under the regime that was going on. So if you believe the Athletic story was legit, and after a win or a loss, Doug Pederson had to take his lunch pedal and go into the office and say, it's like, if it's like you can't work with that. And so now you start to just give in and your play calling starts to suck, but who knows what really went on when you have almost every video I did after every loss was, it's just a tug of war battle that's not being won, and it's coming out to the kids. It's like when two parents get a divorce, the kids suffer. These players suffered. You can't really rate Jalen Reagor's rookie season like he said in his stuff, because this was a atrocity. It was just disgusting. But real quick, shout out to Jake Hills for the $5. But I want to ask you guys just a simple thing. Do you think it's more Jeff Lurie's fault because he's not holding Howie accountable, or do you think he's actually interfering with Howie's decision? And it's like the same thing as we say Doug got the faults of Howie and Jeffrey. Is Howie a little bit, is it more Jeffrey or more Howie? And it's hard to really find out because they keep that part in closed doors. But what do you think the problem? You think it's more just Howie cannot do it, or is it Jeff Lurie is just starting to oversee too much? And like you said, Howie Roseman can't tell him no, and it's really Jeff Lurie's decisions.
I'll say this much. I think that Jeffrey Lurie has always been Jeffrey Lurie. I think that Howie Roseman knows his position. Like, I think he knows how to make. I don't think it's necessarily Jeffrey coming and saying this is what you got to do. I think it's just Howie knows how to make Jeffrey happy. I mean, I think that's really what it comes down to. He knows how to explain things, because it doesn't make sense. Like, if Jeffrey Lurie had as much, I mean, he does obviously have that much power, but if he was that controlling, I don't think some of these moves that have happened would happen, because maybe it's Jeffrey Lurie lying at press conferences, but he says one thing and then another thing happens. So it's like, I don't know. I really do think that maybe Howie Roseman just knows how to kiss up to him in the back room or whatever it is. They know he knows how to talk him out of things, because I just don't see what Jeffrey Lurie is doing like that he's done differently. I mean, we've talked to him more as far as like, I feel like the media has been more in his face lately because of we've been bad, but like, I don't really think that he's like making more decisions. I don't know. I just think that Howie knows how to work him over, to be honest. Like, because we've been making the same bad decisions for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jeffrey Lurie's just kind of talking now, so it's like I tend to just think that it's Howie's just continually doing what he wants to do, and Jeffrey, like you said, doesn't want to put blame on him, and now he has to come out a little bit and talk. So he's saying what he's saying, you know what I'm saying? But I think, Jeffrey Lurie might just be more of a check than we think, to be honest. I don't think he has that much. He has say, obviously, but you know what I'm trying to say. I don't think he's putting that much input in. But that's just me.
You know what I think it is? And it's kind of crazy because I've been thinking about it too. Like, it's been a long time since Jeffrey Lurie had the spotlight pointed on him. And you think about Andy Reid's tenure here, like how successful he was, every single year, playoff run. When we got to the end of Andy Reid, what did we say? It was just time to go. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the last season was miserable, but it was just time. Like, Andy needed a new scene, right? Then with the Chip Kelly thing, he was so terrible and so unrelatable that the spotlight went to Chip Kelly. And it was like, okay, Jeffrey, you learned from your mistake. You can't give up as much power. Now, after Doug Pederson won a Super Bowl and how this thing derailed so fast, for once, the spotlight is being put on the ownership, on the draft picks, right? Like, it's not like, all right, Doug's time ran out. It's not. Doug was so bad, so unrelatable that, we just can't look at the ownership at all. Now it's getting put on Howie and Jeff, and you can see they don't really know how to, like, cater to it.
Yeah, I think he just wants who he wants, and I think Jeffrey falls in love with players now. Like, there's no other way to, like, there's no other way. Like, you can't. There's no way your general manager can be that bad. They don't use their scouting department. Everything you hear is, well, why do they hit later on picks that end up being contributors? Because they let their scouting department do their job. Why do they always miss 1s and 2s? I mean, think about it. You can make cases like, I know people love Miles, but that's not like a home run. It's not a guarantee. Dallas Goedert's not a guarantee hit.
They looked good. They looked good, but they definitely tailed off this second year. They definitely, he had like 500, 600 yards receiving in his rookie season, 800 yards rushing. He couldn't even duplicate his rookie season. But, again, we're also talking about sometimes Miles Sanders got 6 handoffs in a game.
Yeah, seriously. That was the craziest thing. It's like we were all yelling, and we're not all experts, you know what I'm saying? But when we're all yelling the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be a little bit of truth, right? Like, where there's smoke, there's fire. And, like, I just feel like, especially over, I'll say, like, the last season and a half, it's just been, like, consistent, rumor after rumor after rumor. Like, we all hated Josina Anderson for a long time. I think we all still have a little bit of hatred towards her, which is seeming like it's true now. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah,
it doesn't look like she was lying. So it's like, it just doesn't make any sense. I've never had, and obviously I haven't been, covering the Eagles as long as you guys have, but, like, I've never felt as a fan like everything is just falling apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, this year, even after Chip Kelly, I was like, bro, we have talent. We have the talent to be a good football team. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just outworked our defense, or we did this with there were real reasons why we sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, analytical or on the field or whatever, however you wanted to look at it.
Don't say analytics.
We had talent.
Talk about analytics.
We had talent, this year we don't. We don't know, at the very least. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't know what we have because everything was so weird last year. So, I mean, it's just frustrating.
But we do got some positivity in the chat. Joey Shakes coming in with a $10 super chat. He said, here's what I think. I think Nick Sirianni has Howie's ear. Some questions from the presser were passed on to Nick. I'm getting good vibes for Thursday. I mean, Thursday's so close.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I hope so. I hope Nick Sirianni has this dude's ear. We'll find out quick.
But hey,
some more Kool-Aid if you got it, Joe. I mean, I'm Mr. Guy who drinks the Eagles Kool-Aid like it's nobody's business, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But yeah, I cannot buy into a 38-year-old has his ear. A Super Bowl winning coach, a guy who's been around winners his entire career, a guy who's been backups to greatness doesn't have his ear. A guy who played under Shula, Holmgren, Andy Reid. I mean, the list goes on what Doug Pederson's been around in his career. And everybody laughed at the guy in 2017 when he said, oh, it's a Super Bowl roster. Everybody's like, oh, my God, how do you say that? Tom, he can't say that. I said, you ever coached a sport in your life? You ever know what confidence is? You never know what believing in your players is? I'm so upset. I'm so upset. We better hit something Thursday. We better hit something because I can't do this again. I can't shake my head and be like Jalen Reagor. And Jalen Reagor might be good. I don't know. But I can't shake my head again. Please, for the love of God, 1 year for the first and second round picks, do not make me shake my head. Just don't make me shake my head. Just leave me.
No question marks. Yeah.
And I would have been cool with anybody that sucked at 6, to be honest with you. That's where I was mentally. Like, I would have been okay if Jamar Chase sucked. Like, at least you took the right guy, like, to us at least once. Like, it's not Marcus Smith and he sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not Nelson Aguilar and he sucked. Like, it's somebody that we all thought was going to be good. You made a good pick. He just sucked. Like, now at number 12, you're going to pick somebody that nobody wants because that's what's going to happen. Like, and I'm not saying that Kwity Paye is going to suck. I'm not saying Christian Barrymore is going to suck. But they're not going to be Jamar Chase. They're not going to, like, you put yourself in a position that, yes, you can save a little bit of face because, you know, it's a 12 pick and it's not number 6. So, you know, the odds of whatever you want to say. But at the same time, you put yourself in a position that you're getting smoked. Whether if whoever that is there, to go back to your earlier question, whoever is there at number 6, if you better hope they're not a defensive end or defensive tackle and we take another defensive tackle, or it's a wide receiver and we take the other wide receiver, because it's going to be,
you might get the fourth one, the fourth or fifth one. Yeah. But
yeah, it's going to be a comparison.
You guys, this real quick. What do you think? Like, all right, we know about the 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Atlanta is a big question mark. Atlanta can really shake it up a little bit. If they don't go Kyle Pitts, it's just one more time he falls a little bit. Cincinnati, but you know, we kind of, when we were at 6, we were worried about the Falcons, the Cincinnati pick, but we didn't care about the Lions, the Panthers, the Broncos, and then you got the 2 divisions. But like, give me your take, RB and Tom and Joe. What do you think is going to be the Lions, Panthers, and Broncos pick? Because they could. That's the whole thing I'm worried about. If the Broncos go like we know, if Kyle Pitts is off the board, Cowboys are looking at Surtain, a guy that I know Tom loves, Surtain. But like, just say the Broncos pull a cornerback in Surtain, which I mean, if a quarterback's there, they'll probably take it. But and then now Dallas gets the second corner, and then like now we're forced to pick the third one. And I'm not saying Caleb Farley's not good, Greg Newsome a little bit later, but it's like there's, in my mind, I can see a scenario where like Waddle and Devontae go and Surtain and them go. That would be like the absolute worst. And now we're sitting at 12. Like, what do we do? So who's your biggest fears of taking the Waddle, Smiths, Surtains, and Horns before we get there? If you guys know,
I'll say I think if I'm going like the first 4, I think it's going to be QBs going first 3, and then I mean Falcons are kind of a wild card. Maybe I don't know if they're going to go. I know a lot of people are saying Kyle Pitts. Some people are saying, you know, offensive line, defensive line. They need everything. I mean, maybe they go quarterback. Maybe they trade back. You know, that's probably the biggest wild card right there. I mean, number 5. I don't even know who's number 5. The Bengals. I think they need to go offensive line, but they're talking about Waddle. They're talking about Jamar Chase. So, I mean, it's a really hard year to really try and figure this out, because I don't think any team really has like that number 1 guy. I think it's just going to kind of go with the flow. I think Trevor Lawrence is the only guy, because even at number 2, like, I don't know if Kyle Wilson is going to be that guy for number 2. For Zach Wilson, I don't even know his first name.
I'm more concerned about 7, 8, 9 now, because they're big stealers from us. What do you guys think? 7, 8, 9.
I think honestly, Carolina's probably going to go like linebackers. I don't really worry about them, to be real. I think they have different needs, to be honest. Like, Carolina has good wide receivers. Detroit, they don't have Kenny Golladay, so maybe they look at that. But they have a lot of needs, to be honest. And then who else you got? 9, Denver Broncos. They need a quarterback. They need a lot of stuff too. They could go Micah Parsons. They get a lot of production out of their linebackers. So that's a team that maybe Micah Parsons is taken by. But I think a lot of these teams need quarterbacks or stuff that we don't necessarily need. So I'm hoping that they just go quarterback and offensive line heavy. That's like best case scenario for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about Dallas and the Giants right in front of us.
That's big time.
And, Detroit probably, it's just their MO. They'll probably take a skill position player. It's what they like to do. Like I said, Denver might steal Parsons off the board. You can see Dallas take Surtain, slot him with Diggs, the old teammates, let them run it. And I could easily see the Giants going a couple different directions. I mean, they could go. They have holes too. So I mean, they could go wide receiver. They could even go corner. They could go some places. And maybe some places you don't think they go. So that'd be interesting. You know what? If all things fail, and this might be the craziest thing I've ever said in my life. And in RB, I don't want to get off topic, right? But like the craziest thing, and I would do it if all these guys are gone that I love. I'm taking Najee Harris and I'm sprinting up to the podium. Be like, Tom, you're nuts. I got a running quarterback, Miles Sanders. Let's run the football. Let's win. We're run the football. Let's be the Baltimore Ravens. Then we're gonna pound it down your throat.
You're saying like where we're at right now, or trade back and get him.
No, I'm saying that he's a top 10 player in this draft, but because he's a running back,
he's not valued.
He's not valued because of whatever the stupid word he's got.
Analytics.
Yeah, he's analytics and positional values, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like if I could get a running back for the next 8 years and he's going to help me win football games, what does it matter what position he plays? Now, I might be crazy for that. I said that. I'm nuts. But I would take him at 12 if like Surtain and all these guys, you know what I'm saying, are all gone. Yeah. I would just say, you know what? Here's my pick. I'm not even going to let anybody take him before me.
Worst case scenario. But RB, who do you fear like the Carolina, like them 6, 7, 8, 9, that they'll just throw a monkey wrench in what Dallas and the Giants and us will do?
Yeah. So how I'm looking at it is Detroit. I actually think Detroit may trade back. I think, I just have a feeling. I don't know why, but I think like there's going to be at least 1 or 2 trades in the top 10. I think that Detroit might trade back. I think, and this is actually my fear right here. So I talked about Dallas and the Giants. I'll talk about them. I think Carolina might take Rashawn Slater, and if Sewell's off the board as well, I think that could end up that could push Howie to end up taking this defensive lineman that everybody's talking about. Just my thoughts, and it would suck, but that's just how I'm feeling. In terms of Denver, I don't know. They might go quarterback. They might go linebacker. But if it gets to Dallas and the Giants, and just say like Pitts is on the board, I'm telling you, Dallas will take Pitts. They'll take Surtain out of spite to screw the Eagles. And the Giants, if we want Devontae Smith and they know that, or they're getting that feeling, they will take him. Or if Parsons isn't there, they will take him. And that is my fear. And at that point, like Tom said, like, I don't care who we take, just please don't take a quarterback and don't take something that we already have way too much of. We'll never take a linebacker, which is unfortunate, even though that's what I want. And I wanted Parsons this whole time, which is why I thought we were going to get him at 6. And obviously we know how that worked out. But don't get it twisted. Dallas and the Giants will do something in spite of the Eagles. Not for their own need. We saw it last year. But in spite of screwing the Eagles.
You could have had this position last year. I mean, you had 2 impactful middle linebackers sitting on the board, and you take neither one of them and you reach for a Jalen Reagor. Patrick Queen, the top 12 talent in last year's draft, who fell for some reason, and Baltimore, what they do, because they're a great organization, they say, oh yeah, we lost CJ Mosley, our defense hasn't been as good, we'll take them. Look at every team that has a top 5 or 10 defense. They have a legit middle linebacker. It's not a joke. It's not something you just make up. You have to address it at some point, and it can't be 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. Like if Parsons or Joker, I don't think either one. Definitely Parsons. I don't think, and I know. I know Joe's probably with me on this. I think Joker's like worthy of the 12th pick. What do you guys think?
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't listen. I was gonna say, with your worst case scenario, quick, if that came through, I would be looking at the JOKs of the world, and Najee Harris is going to be like, I'm not calling him Derrick Henry, but he's going to call him. All right, yeah, let me do that then. But, yeah, and that with a Miles Sanders plus a Jalen Hurts could really go good. Shout out to CW Gearhead with the $20 super chat though. But I agree, I would legitly not draft a piece of cheese like CW Gearhead said, but I will legitly go think about JOK at that spot if the worst case scenario came where you're just like your heart keeps breaking. Devontae's off the board, Parsons off the board, Horns off the board, and it just Surtain's off the board, and it's just plus you see what happened at 6. It's just going to be really deadly. So it's just going to be, it could be a hard 12 rounds. Like in boxing, like we could go through a box and it's bad. It's
It's
You know
bad.
what's
gonna be hard.
unfortunate too? Like again, it just goes back to the common theme that we never learn. Like last year, we will be scarred for years by that Justin Jefferson pick. I hope people know that, and all the people that say, "Oh, well, he wasn't a slot; he's just a slot receiver." Yeah, how'd that shape up for us? How many records did he break this year? And again, we had another chance for an LSU receiver. It's gonna hurt.
The
We're
better
gonna-
one, supposedly in college.
Right. And I think Tom or Mike said this earlier, like Devontae Smith might be there at 12 and we still may not take him. Like we might try to either get too cute or something, or Parsons may fall. I have a feeling one of them big names are going to fall and we still may not take them. And I just don't have confidence. I'm sorry. Like usually I'm an optimist, but there's just, too much has happened. I'm like last year, we could have traded a second round pick that we used on Jalen Hurts to get CeeDee Lamb. And again, the Cowboys needed
or a
defense.
linebacker. Zach Baum was there.
Right.
I thought he was a pretty decent.
And the Cowboys
prospect.
did something out of spite to screw us. So
And that's the thing. Like you said, we don't learn, man. We're gonna keep making the same mistakes, and then we're gonna keep on, just trying to cover them up with excuse. Because that's what kills me too. Is I love all of the Eagles fans, bro. I love the Eagles community, but man, I feel like we are arguing with each other more than we're arguing with other teams. Like it just makes no sense. And honestly, none of us have the answers. Nobody in this. We just talked for almost an hour. None of us know exactly what the hell's going to happen or what should happen. You know what I'm saying? We all just have our own opinions, and it's crazy how everybody, like a lot of people on Twitter, Eagles Twitter, is really like just digging in on their own fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let's focus on getting mad at the people that we should be getting mad at. Let's focus on being mad at Howie. Let's focus on being mad at the division rivals for a second, because like you said earlier, man, people looking in from the outside right now are probably just thinking this team's weak and mentally too, to be honest. So like, and honestly, I don't blame them. I can't blame them. A lot of the stuff that's happened lately is kind of just weird stuff, bro. Like, I understand brothers fight and families have issues, but this shit's crazy. It's like high school all over again. I don't get it. I definitely don't get it.
And another thing that you made the point I just said earlier, like we didn't learn from last year. We saw Dallas steal a man out of our hands that we all preach and all wanted.
We go behind.
We don't move 3 picks behind them. We move directly behind them, and that might hurt more than our own pick. Watching Dallas take Kyle Pitts, who's going to haunt us for years. Watching the Giants take Parsons, who's going to eat us alive. All right, I'm just being honest, man. They're going to make the right picks.
If the Giants get Parsons, we're going to need Najee Harris just to gain some positive yards.
They won't even take Harris. They'll take another running back that we never heard of. They'll take a second round running back.
And
they'll take like Khalil Herbert or something. I mean, Khalil Herbert's good in like the 4th round or something.
Shout out to Jay Kills though with a $10 super chat. Controversy opinion. He said Doug's weakness was the development of young players. We did touch on this a little bit. We don't know at the end of the day. We don't know who was involved, who was in charge last year, but he didn't trust them because he had no part in selecting them. Well, that's also a problem. Look at Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan has a final say over the GM John Lynch because the coach is really going to be the guys in the ground working. So if John Lynch loves Mac Jones or loves Trey Lance and Kyle Shanahan loves Mac Jones, you let the coach who's going to work with this guy for the next 5 years make the decision. But he said we needed to do this for the rebuild, trade back if we're going to take a D lineman. I don't even want to hear that. And shout out to my guy, Ray Bello. He said, great live stream, guys. Keep up the good work.
Let me ask you this based off that last super chat, because it's a good comment, like a good topic here. Like,
it is.
This goes back to what we were saying. Like, Mailata gets pulled for 38-year-old Jason Peters, right? Travis Fulgham had one of the best 4-week stretches in the NFL. He gets, thrown into wherever he went. Like, who do you guys think? Who was that more on? Was that on the coaching staff, like the super chat said, or was it on, the guys upstairs?
We know that already. We already said it. Nick Sirianni came in and said in the presser he has final say over the roster. I mean, it's already said. We can speculate all we want. It's a great conversation, but it's already been told to us, which is mind-boggling. Like they actually leaked it on themselves, saying, "Yeah, we have final say on who's on this roster and who plays." What? So the reason Travis Fulgham didn't play, and everybody blamed it on Doug, the reason he didn't play is they didn't want to pay him. It's as simple as that. Because if he balls out, then they go, they got to give him more money, and he hits incentives, etc. They're cheap as shit. So they said, oh, he's playing a little too good right now. Let's pull it back a little bit. It's a joke.
And it's also like this. Look, Jordan Mailata, he's cheap, but he's succeeding. Oh, wait, we gave Jason Peters a raise. Oh, got to get him in. Oh, Travis Fulgham playing good. It's not even about how much we're going to pay him. They say, is Alshon Jeffrey's leg back? He's making money, get him in. And so it's the higher paid players automatically got to play. And at this point, if you know Alshon Jeffrey's not coming back, which we knew 100%, you messed up on a contract, eat the money. Why are you taking snaps away from a team? When we should have went young a lot earlier. And the one reason they could try to hold a not being young over us is because this division was so trash. If there was a team in the division that was double-digit wins, maybe we would have pulled them. I don't know what they would do because it's them. But I agree. It was all money. Again, the productive players. Do you think a coach cares about money? No, he cares about production. Who cares about money? The upstairs guy. And that's who got put on the field. Forget Jordan Mailata. Look at Andre Diller. Like, he played decent in the Buffalo game and the Chicago game. Now, Leonard Floyd beat him up a little bit, but he was pretty good with Khalil Mack. But what happened? When we needed a right tackle, instead of getting Hall of Fame, 100-year-old Jason Peters, like, listen, bro, you play a right tackle just because you're more trained in the game. They send soft-minded Andre Diller to go on the right side, was horrible. Then he couldn't get back to the left side, and now he's shot, man. He was crying, talking about you guys know how hard it is. It's like writing with your left hand. Like, we destroyed his confidence. You destroyed somebody who's for 8 years confidence for someone who's going to be here for a year or two more.
Yeah, and that even goes to what I was saying. Like, bro, like, we were really like killing Jason Peters because he got more money. While he shouldn't have asked for it, don't get me wrong, we shouldn't have gave it to him. Like, that shouldn't have even been an option. Like, our offensive line was probably the only positional group that was getting developed, like, legitimately. Like, that's probably the only in the past 5-6 years that I can say we've continuously brought people in and they've worked out, other than Jamon Brown. But I mean, I don't think he would have worked out anywhere. So it's like, I don't understand why we just don't let people do their job. That's really what I think this whole, like, I think that's what this whole hour comes down to, is like, we have to start letting these people do their job. Like, we have scouts, let them be the scouts, and we've even heard, we talk about leaking stuff on themselves. We've even heard how they supposedly are breaking down, the picks, and that the scouts have more say in the later round picks. And then you look at the numbers and look at where we're getting our best players in the later round picks. So it's like, can we do something here? Can we just get it together and just let our workers work? You know what I'm saying? Like, stop giving out free paychecks. Like you said, we had a whole bunch of paychecks playing last year. We didn't have one player out there. We had a whole bunch of paychecks. So, like, this year, I just want to see no banana routes. I want that to come to fruition. I want competition to come to fruition. Like, I want to stop hearing the lip service for once. Like, can we actually do what we say we're gonna do? Like, everything, even if you go back to when Doug Pederson said he was gonna get his guys back, the next day they're fired. So it's like, I don't know. Are you lying to us?
Yeah, you knew it right.
Are you lying to yourself? That's my thing, though. Like, did he? Like, did Doug Pederson know that? Howie probably knew that. But it's like, are you lying to us? Do you know what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what's, like, baffling me. It's like, I want to know what's going on, and I would love to, like, know what's going on in the background. But if you're gonna lie to me because I'm part of, the outside, and you don't want it, you want to keep it in-house, because there's a lot of coaches that are like that. That's fine. Make that consistent. But it's like, I feel like sometimes you're telling the truth, sometimes you're not telling the truth. It's like, just pick who you're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, just pick who you're gonna be. That's what kills me the most. That's really what kills me the most.
Real quick, shout out to JB. He said, all-star cast. Honestly, the closer we get, the more nervous I'm getting in real life. And then a shout out to A2D Radio for life. Tommy, you're my boy. Blue. I love all the work you guys do. Trade up and get Surtain. Call it a day. Where would you want, if you could pick the trade up scenario, Tom? What would you think would be a fair offer, and where would you try to go? What number above 10 and 11 spot?
I think I can get the 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I think I can maybe give up a third. I don't think I got to give up a lot to jump up them spots. And if I can figure out a way to jump Dallas, you might have to throw fifth in there maybe next year or something. But I don't think you got to give up a ton to get up there. And if you can jump them two teams and to get Surtain, I mean, that's a home run. That would be a home run. I think we would all leave this draft extremely happy if we made a move like that and showed like, okay, this organization's changing. You know, they're going back to the good old days. Like, I wouldn't even mind if they went Surtain and it's not St. Jr. in the second round. I feel like it's Lito and Sheldon again. So, I mean, I have no problem with that at all. It'd be great. Especially jumping them scumbags. They jump Dallas and the Giants. Oh, let's go. We'll do it for Fields, though.
Oh my goodness! He just had to turn a good thing bad, right? You can feel the trade up thing. You see Surtain on him. And you know what's worse is when you're like, I don't really listen to it, but when you got the people who are talking about the players, they're like, we think the Eagles are going to be targeting this guy, and oh boy, here comes Howie Roseman. Like y'all thought wrong. But yeah, man. But so at the end of the day, if you could say this, if we get this guy, I'm feeling 100%. Like your guy would be Surtain, even over. I know you like Devontae Smith too, but like, are you leaning more to Surtain and you're happier than Devontae? Like, where do you guys fall? Like, if they can just say that's your guy, who you guys want? You go.
Because they, you know, they're obviously if they're
different.
If they're the same position, I like they're like the same to me. Like you could draft either one of them, and I'm like, yay, like let's go. So I mean, to me, they're the same. I don't think you can. I think both are hits. And Surtain's just the pedigree of daddy played it. You probably were like an infant going through cones and shit, back battling. So you're built to play cornerback. And it's like people are like, well, he doesn't make he's just whatever. He doesn't make he's not a splash guy. Well, because nobody throws at him. Like he'll be a splash guy when he gets to the NFL and teams are like, you know what, I'm gonna go at that guy. Then he's gonna have the ability to make more plays. But either, Mike, I know that's like a cop out, but either or is a win for me.
RB.
I guess
I know your mindset is like we're gonna get an offensive line, but if Howie
my mindset is like even if we were to jump up and do that, like I'm still hurt about that, like because I feel like at that point we should have just stayed at 6 and gotten one of the the big names. You know what I mean? Like,
I know,
but I don't know. I feel like we are way overthinking. It's like I feel like some of these guys are gonna fall, and I feel like we may not even take them. We may watch them go. But if I had to pick one, I would say Devontae, right? The connection with Jalen. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I don't know how much longer I can stand this wide receiver play. I don't know if I can ever watch J.J. Arcega-Whiteside take a snap again. I don't know what Jalen Reagor is at this point. And it's like one after the other. And the one gem we had, which was Travis Fulgham, at least we saw something in him, and we don't even play him. Like, I think we just need a weapon for Jalen Hurts. I think we need a weapon for Jalen Hurts or a protection for Jalen Hurts. We saw that under Carson, right? Like you got to protect your guy and you got to give him some weapons. And even the weapons that we have had are getting old. They're getting older. They had a down year or something. I don't know. I feel like we need a weapon on offense.
We think.
Yeah, I mean, if it's between who was it, Horn and Surtain, or Surtain and Devontae Smith. I mean, if it's between those two, I guess I would go probably Smith. I would probably go Devontae Smith. I like Surtain more than Horn. I'll say that. I guess I'll go. But I'm kind of with you, RB. Like at this point, it's like just stay at 12 and pick somebody. Like I don't even want to trade up no more. Like it's just unless you're gonna trade up to number 4 and grab Chase. Like if this was all one big, hoopla because you really wanted Jamar Chase and you really thought he was gonna go at number 5, maybe I can make myself sleep at night because of that. Maybe that says something to me because maybe he's not gonna run banana routes. Maybe that's what Nick Sirianni really wants. Maybe that's why we did it. But if you do it for anybody else, it's just kind of like you guys said, you could have just stood at 6. There was no indication that somebody like Patrick Surtain was going to go at 4 or 5. There was no, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just at the point, make a damn pick, make a good pick. Just make the right pick.
And the point where the Eagles are at, it's like, oh, now you really have serious questions apparently about your quarterback. So what are you gonna evaluate this guy with? Are you gonna evaluate him with John Hightower and Travis Fulgham and Zach Ertz probably won't even be here. Dallas Goedert, right? Like, are we gonna evaluate him with these guys and guys on the line who are getting old? Maybe Andre Dillard. You know what I mean? I feel like we gotta get him a playmaker, a couple playmakers actually, but yeah.
You got to get him a defense too. But real quick, shout out to Philly Fresh, $3 super chat. He said first and second round have to be day one starters, period. My biggest thing is we got 5 picks in the top 150. I would like 4, but I'm gonna be more realistic. You got to get 3 players out of them 5 have to be legit day one starters. No ifs, and or buts. And I'm cutting it to 3 because of who we're talking about. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rich. He said, just because, thanks the family tonight, rest of the week. Shout out to my guy. And Ray came in and said, trade up to 8 and get Surtain. So he's definitely on Tom's wavelength when it comes to trading up. Do you guys think, though, that the Eagles are going to part ways with Zach Ertz during this draft? Or, I mean, not to get something crazy, but do you think we're going to just say, we'll try to get whatever we can draft night and just save the money? Because what is he owed? $8 million? I think you only saved 4.
They should have done that with the draft pick. I mean, shit.
True.
I don't know why they're holding on to him. I don't get what what value is he getting as the days go on. Like, I think me and Tom joked about this, before when I made like a little meme about it. Like, we're probably going to end up keeping him. Like, and we're talking all this junk about him. We're hating on him so much. Like, everybody's saying, let's give him up for a 4th round pick. And I'm one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those guys. I'm not going to lie. I got mad and just said, get rid of him. But we're probably going to keep him. I mean, if you don't have the patience to hold on to probably one of the most valuable things that you can have, a top 10 pick, almost top 5. You don't have the patience to hold on to that till draft night. But you're going to hold on to Zach Ertz because you might up his price from like a 4th to a 3rd. Maybe if like Pat Fryermuth goes way quicker than everybody thought. If what's the thought process here? Like, Zach Ertz isn't even realistically. Zach Ertz isn't even, and I love Zach Ertz, and this is going to sound like a hating type thing, but it's really not. The way that the tight end position is moving, Zach Ertz is not built for it. Zach Ertz is not the guy that is going to be a tight end in 4 or 5 years. Like, we see the tight ends that are coming in now. You look at our tight ends. You look at Dallas Goedert. You look at
I want to say that just to defend my guy Zach Ertz. I honestly think you got to understand, for the last 3 years, teams treated him like our number 1 wide receiver. And if you're asking Mike Tomlin's defense,
but he's not a fast guy. None of that matters. He's not like the NFL is moving towards faster players. Like, if you have somebody like Kyle Pitts that people are going to probably draft him and keep him at tight end. You have the guy Darren Waller from Oakland Raiders. You have guys that can make things happen with the ball in their hand. He's not that guy, and he's never been that guy.
But like I said, I would just say this, though. When you get bracket, yes, you can see when the ball's in his hand, he's slow, like physically. But also when you're getting bracket coverage because Alshon Jeffrey's running with a piano on his back, or Travis Fulgham's taken out, or Jalen Reagor, or all these guys. I think if you put Zach Ertz on a team where they have a dominant number 1 and he's getting one-on-ones with linebackers or safeties or even a slot corner, he's not going to get you yak, but he's going to be a chain mover for another team. I just don't think he's going to be able to fit what we're doing in the rebuild, and the fact that we got no skill players. It could help out Jalen Hurts, though, at the end of the day. But
I think he can be good. I just don't think he's not the type of NFL player. Like, he doesn't, in my opinion, he does not deserve $12 to $13 million. Like, he's not a Darren Waller. He's not a game changer. Darren Waller's way better. I would way rather. You can put Darren Waller on little.
He's also 10 years. He's also 8 years younger.
But he's only done it 1 year. He's done it 1 year. Zach Ertz gonna walk in the catches.
Zach Ertz catches the ball all the time because we have guys like Jordan Matthews as our number 1 guy. Like, you sit like, we've never seen Jordan. I don't know. I'm not saying that Zach Ertz sucks. I'm not saying that he's a terrible player. I'm just saying that the way that the NFL positionally is going, he's not going to be that. He's not worth that money next year. He's just not. Like, He's just not. He's not even an elite blocker, if we're being 100% honest.
No, very true. I mean, I would think I would think you don't got to.
Yeah, I would definitely take a third for him.
Yeah, even a fourth at this point. Like, if I don't feel like the relationship's good anymore, like in house, then you just got to do what you got to do. And I don't love it, and it's hard to let these guys go because we love them, and they were part of the first Super Bowl that we've ever experienced here. All right, and it's hard to let these guys go. And we love them all. Like I used to say about Fletcher Cox, I want to hear his name 1,000,000 times on the broadcast. Right, I want to hear it 1,000,000 times for $100 million. I want to hear your name 1,000 times. Okay, but at this point, if somebody came knocking on my door and was willing to give me a second-round pick for him, I have to move on. I have to rebuild. And that's the only reason I like the nerd stuff where it's like, oh, let's acquire more assets because we stink.
And that's why I think the precedent is so big with this draft because, again, we saw how he do what he did back in the day. Then he got put in the closet. Now he came back out. We got the Super Bowl minus some of the bad picks because of the great signings. But we're at a point now where we just got rid of our 5-year head coach. We changed so much stuff. 5-year head coach, 5-year quarterback. Howie still stays. And it's like we're in a crucial spot where we can either turn this rebuild around in 2 to 3 years, or we could become the Oakland Raiders. We could become something very bad. That's why I think the precedent for this draft is very, as my guy Eagle Slayer said, $5 super chat, BPA no matter what. I can't go another day with this clickbait stuff. I agree. But it's like, think about it though, where we're at now. If we hit this draft and Jalen Hurts is a B+ or better quarterback, and Nick Sirianni's enthusiasm is a pretty good, and the guys get the rah-rah, then we can turn it around. I'm not saying playoffs next year. I'm saying 2 to 3 years. We're talking good Eagles football. But if we miss on the Jamar Chase because we went there and we picked the Queddy Pay, I can't say his name, I don't want to learn it. And then this could be, I could start to hate football.
Yep.
And I just want to clarify myself real quick because everybody's like, "Oh, Zach Ertz is great. You're a hater." Listen, all right, listen. I love Zach Ertz. And I'm not saying. And somebody said, "Is he a top 10?" Name 10 teams that use tight ends like we do. Like realistically, that's not. People don't use their tight end as their number one wide receiver. We just don't know how to pick wide receivers. That's not a good thing. Like that's just how I feel. But he can be a great tight end. He is a great guy. You know what I'm saying? His wife is a great soccer player. I think they have a very cute dog. Like, I don't hate the guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as I say like one bad thing, it's like, oh my God, you hate Zach Ertz.
We were talking about earlier. This is exactly what we were talking about
exactly.
before we came on. You can't be critical of anybody in this city anymore.
Yeah.
The city,
exactly.
The city where it's attack mode, right? You know, that city's gone. It's sensitivity training here. Like if you say a bad word or say it's time to move on from a guy, what are you talking about, Tom? How could you say that? You got to give the guy time, right? A, B, C, and D. I'm over it. I'm going to hold everybody accountable in this city because at the end of the day, I want Broad Street for all 4 of my teams. And when I see my teams not going in that direction and going the other direction, I have to then say that I'm speaking for the people. Right? And if I'm going to speak for the people, I'm going to yell and scream, lose my voice, sound like an idiot probably half the time, but I need to hold these guys accountable. If I can sit right here and make better picks by just watching college football, that's it. I don't watch tape. I don't care about all 22. You can kiss my butt. I watch it the first time, and I know if a guy can play. And that goes for 90% of us, the public out here, right? We can do that. So if I can do it and we can do it, can we start doing it, please? Please, because just give me the job. You can hire me for $5 an hour. I'll clean up. I'll hit on every goddamn pick we do. We'll be running on broad. Come on.
Now, and real quick, I want to get RB's take, but I agree.
He hates mock drafts. That's the crazy. Tom hates mock drafts. Look at, he's ready to draft for us.
There you go. Yeah, and see, look, and I was on the Zach Ertz trade thing early too, and you do get the backlash. And here's the thing: I'm defending him as a player, but he's still not right for the situation that we got going forward because of the fact that we are in a watch your money spend. You do got Dallas Goedert. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Fame type tight end. You just got him. You got to pick. You're going to pick the younger one or the older one when his contract's coming up. So we're not in a space to do that. So I can say, Zach Ertz, you're a good player. You're going to make a competitive team good, but you can't be on the Eagles no more just because you can't. And RB, same thing. You know, how do you feel about some of these older players, including Zach Ertz? You're ready to go, right?
I'm just saying here, like, this is actually a great conversation. I'm loving it. The energy. Yo, I'm just like this again. The common theme here is pain, right? I'm thinking back last year. Do you know how much we could have got for Zach Ertz? And now we're fighting over a 3rd and a 4th round pick. We're talking about a 4th round pick for a guy who might be the best tight end or one of the best tight ends in our franchise, helped us win a Super Bowl just a couple years ago, was dominant. We're talking about a 4th round pick. We held on Alshon Jeffrey till the man had no legs, no shoulders. I mean, this is sad. I mean,
what would run it back say? You know what I mean? Like run it, they tried to run it back.
And they admitted to that.
And it was fine. It was fine to do. But when you miss in 2017, you miss in 2018, and you miss in 2019, guess what happens? You don't surround these other guys with any talent, and you're a 4-win football team. It's 101. It's really 101. It's the easiest thing analytic-wise. I just helped them out, right? But here's your analytics. When you miss in 2017, 18, 19, guess what happens? Now we're where we're at.
Exactly.
Weren't teams interested in Zach Ertz too? Like, weren't they getting calls about Zach Ertz? Even at that time, we probably could have got more than what we're literally going to give this man away for pocket change. And it's like,
you had to know back then.
If you told me after 2017 that one day we would trade our cornerstone tight end for a burrito, I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, yeah. Like, that is bad. That is, and it's not even like 8 years later. It's 4 years later.
Yeah. And that's why it's like, as you said, instead of getting a burrito, just have him be the safety blanket. Listen, if a burrito's offered, then you just keep him as a safety blanket, because I think you get a comp pick for him because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. So if you can't give me a 4th or more, which I'm not asking for much more, or the burrito that's not half bitten, then I'm going to just eat the rest of my burrito. You know what I mean?
Well, he did it.
Even brings me back to like when we drafted Dallas Goedert, because if you drafted Dallas Goedert, and they've said that they didn't want to run that much 12 personnel, that it was out of necessity, right? So why the hell did you draft Dallas Goedert then? Is that not a future move? Is that not we're ready to move on from Zach Ertz? So why didn't you do it when his value was at its highest?
Is this
like,
real?
That makes no sense to me.
Is this real life? Like, is it real life that a guy has Super Bowl winning catch, probably the best catch, been one of the biggest catch in franchise history, per se, and this clown and this loser goes and drafts his replacement? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Carson Wentz carried us to the playoffs in 2019, and guess what he says to him? Hold my beer, here's your replacement. You can't do it like this. You can't do it to your big time players. You can draft replacements for other positions, but after guys like carry you or have big years, that's such a slap in the face. So what Zach Ertz did this year is he went, hey, you see that? Because I'm going to ruin all the value that you think you're going to get from me. Yes. And that's what he did this year to us.
Yes. Yeah. And before the season, him and Howie literally got in an argument. They got in a shouting match. And then after that, Kelsey and Kittle both got signed. So if you have a guy who wants to get paid, you do know how this market works, right? Like, when guys get paid, it's not always about who's the best. It's about timing. So then you wait, these other guys get paid, and now you're stuck in a worse situation. And then, like Tom said, Ertz literally said, F you, literally got hurt. And now we are set. Like, think about, just take a step back. Think about what we are settling now for the guy that helped win us a Super Bowl 4 years ago. Pain.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But real quick, shout out to Philly 52. He's like, let's get back. Surtain looks like a cowboy Snoopy type cornerback. Let them have him. Horn is the smack talking, hard working cornerback we need in Philly. His game will clean up. You talk about them PI, the handiness.
I want to ask y'all a question though, because I keep hearing this in my chats and stuff. Are you guys afraid if the Dallas Cowboys are to actually draft Kyle Pitts? Because realistically, I'm not afraid. I think that would be a dumb move by them. Like, it doesn't scare me. Is he a great player? Yeah, but how many players can get the ball every play? One, right? That doesn't really scare me that you got an extra weapon when you need defense. Like, so is Kyle Pitts like if he goes to the Cowboys, does that really scare y'all?
No. I mean, top 10 tight ends. Look at the history. I mean, I'm not like a huge trend guy with that, but look at the history of tight ends in the top 10. It's fail city. I mean, Vernon Davis had a long career and a really good one. But I mean, I like Kyle Pitts, but can he stay on the field? And you're right, Joe. How many balls can go around?
It scares me just because and look, this is just my opinion. Like, we already can't stop the Dallas offense.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have 2-3 receivers and Dak if he's healthy and stuff. But you know, I mean, who the hell do we have at linebacker? Who's going to get? I mean, this isn't the Nate Gary show anymore. But whose show is it? You know what I mean? We're not drafting a linebacker. Davion Taylor, where's he at?
Leave my guy alone.
Alex Singleton. Yeah, okay. Who else? Like, I don't know, man.
I mean,
I think we don't have one player, even Fletcher Cox. Like, I love Fletcher Cox, but he's not the vocal guy. Like, I love Brandon Graham, but you're a little bit too vocal for the production that you put out. Like, you know, I love these guys, but we don't have Malcolm Jenkins might not be like that Hall of Famer guy, but what he did when he was with the Eagles was it warranted everything he said. Every word that came out of his mouth made sense because you were on every play. You were in every down. Like, you earned your stripes. And Fletcher Cox is just not that guy that talks. He's not that. He's going to go out there and ball out, right? You know, and like I said, Brandon Graham, love the guy, but it's like, I thought this was going to finally be the year that you hit that double-digit sack, and then you just disappeared towards the end of the season. And I love the guy, and I'm not saying, you know, let's get rid of these guys. And obviously we're seeing them take pay cuts. So that says something. They obviously love the city or something like that, right? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the cheesesteaks, you know, who knows? But at the end of the day, we are just like, we're continuously putting ourselves in this situation because we don't want to give reins up. Like, I feel like whether it's the coaching staff, whether it's Howie, there's no, like, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? There's no, like, go be who you are. And we had that with Andy Reid. We had that with Doug Pederson for a little while. And, you know, we didn't have that with Chip Kelly. We saw how bad that went. So I'm nervous that we fall back into that it's going to be another, you know, it's ran by Howie and all this. So I was actually a little bit like optimistic before I came on here, you know, and I told Tom,
it's
and
all
I
RB.
I told Tom and I told RB. I haven't talked to RB. Whenever me and RB talk, it's usually just like about random, you know, stuff or whatever. And, you know, he's been telling me, he's like, yeah, I don't even want to talk about this offseason. It's just so crazy. So I was like, we have to right before the draft.
Yeah.
I got to drag you on. We got to talk. But now you got me being realistic. I don't even want to say pessimistic. It's just realism.
You got to think about this, bro. Like I said it earlier, like in my video, like my roles with the Sixers and the Eagles have completely flipped. Now I got to be the arch nemesis now for the Eagles. And it's just like, bro, it's just like I picked this team to go 11-5 last year, and I look like an asshole every day for it. I look like an ass. Like, I just can't keep doing it now. You know what I mean? Like, you hit a certain point, and until you see different or you see some type of movement where it's like, okay, now we're starting to make a trend.
We're not idiots, RB. I mean, I'm sorry to be doing down here with you. I'm sorry to put a tag team with you down here, but we're not idiots. And I said 11-5 last year. Oh, explosive offense. Oh my God. I couldn't love enough. You know what I mean? I thought we were scoring 45 a game. Like I was like, oh, top 5.
All this speed.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to be running all around. Right. I was like an idiot. So at some point that we've watched this organization do what every year, guys, go the other direction. Right. Like they stayed in the playoff for 2 years after the Super Bowl, but every year went a little bit south, a little bit south, get a little bit lower, and then the whole thing was right. Now we're here. Right.
And we were all disillusioned.
I see someone saying in the chat, like, oh, well, you know, we have linebackers now. We have Alex Singleton, TJ Edwards. Like, guys, how low are we going to set the bar? How low? We haven't valued linebacker. Like, I was a young individual, right? But I'll never forget watching Jeremiah Trotter play the game for the Eagles. I'll never forget that. But I'm sure as hell not going to tell my kids one day about Nate Gary, maybe in a joking manner. But come on, how low are we going to set the bar now? Like,
Emmanuel Acho. I would take Emmanuel Acho back right now. I would take
I'll take what
Demarcus Ryan. What's his name?
Demarcus Ryan.
D'Amico Ryan. I would take him back. I would take Jordan Hicks back.
Camus back.
I would definitely take Camus back.
Right? We let him, how much did we let him walk for? I think it was like $2 million.
Yeah, right. It makes no sense.
Even what's his name? Duke Riley didn't even want to stay with this team. Riley, come on,
and we gave him a shot. We were the team that gave him the shot.
And
We
you
were
know
the
what the
first team
crazy
that
thing
made
is?
him a starter.
You know what the crazy thing is? Both Sean Bradley and Davion Taylor, the young guys who they're nobodies at this point, but we hope maybe a young guy can turn it, because young guys come out as nobody. They said the person who helped me the most in the linebacker room was Duke Riley.
Mike, we have Sean Bradley, a 6th-round pick on the field, and we got our 3rd-round pick on special teams. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Come on.
Barely.
I hate to be this way. I love that. I bleed green, but I just got to take a realistic approach for once, man. Some people might.
That's the thing. We have to take that. We have to do this. Like this was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, Tom, you might get blocked by a couple more people after this. Let me stop. But no, listen, people aren't gonna like what sometimes you gotta say. Like, this is just the real perception, the realism of the situation. Right? I think that's the best way of saying it. Yeah, this is the truth. Man. Like, at the end of the day, like, this is what we've all been thinking, but we all cover it. So we all got to look at every angle. We all got to, say what we're thinking, but at the end of the day, we've seen history repeat itself far too often with this team. So, like, when people ask, because people have said it to me too. I do try to be optimistic, but I've been told that I bash the Eagles far too often and all this stuff. So it's just the truth. It's just, I've seen it happen so many times. Like, if I see my dog go poop on the carpet 10 times, I'm gonna just start expecting that month. He's just not gonna I'm not good with dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't talk to him. That's why I don't have a dog. But either way, like, once you see somebody do something repeatedly, even after being punished for it, whether it be in the media, by the fans, or just on the field, if you continuously do it, who am I to think that it's going to change? We have not seen any change. So, I mean, like I said, I wanted to come in here and be optimistic and change, like, at least RB's heart. I wanted RB to leave here and just, be like, you know what? Joe made me really optimistic, but it's not going to happen right now. I'm right there with you.
They're not going to like me this year, bro. It's just, I'm sorry. It's just, and look, I'm telling you guys right now, we're not winning more than 5 games. Like, I hope you guys aren't getting your hopes up. Maybe 6 if we're lucky, but
I got to see the draft first. And like we said today, RB, I agree, like I said, but I still got to see it. The draft could be confirmation that we're not going to win more than 5 games. But here's the thing, what I mean? I'm the fan real quick that says this is what I'm optimistic, but I'm also a gambler and I make a lot of money in it. And I don't bet the Eagles for this reason only. 1, because my heart, and 2, we suck.
2, your wallet.
My wallet. But at the end of the day, we mess this draft up. We go 0-2. I'm not going to be the guy, well, maybe we can win the 3rd game. But week 1, I'm going to say, thank God Eagles football's here for the next couple hours, and then maybe I regret that then. Because I don't come on after the game and say, well, we're 0-3, but every time we lost, we only lost by 3 points. No, we're 0-3.
And that's the thing, too. That's what killed me with Carson Wentz, bro. Like, and I'm not here to bash him, I know. But even with, like, the Bengals game, I think is the perfect example. That man sucked for 3 quarters, and then he, like, did halfway good for and the defense actually came to play for a little while, and he did halfway good, got us a tie, and everybody's like, yeah, see what Carson can do. Carson did that all year. Like, like, literally every game he had like 3 bad quarters and then would play good for 1 quarter. Like, I understand that everybody sucked, but, like, can we just have accountability everywhere? Like, everywhere. As fans, can we be honest with what we're watching? As, the front office, be honest with what you're seeing, who you're paying, and what's going on. Like, we all just need to take that out sometimes. Like, sometimes you got to just suck. It is what it is. Sometimes you're not going to be good. Let's stop making up these fairy tale, like, well, if this, like you said, if this changed, if that changed, like, we weren't a field goal away from a bunch of games, right? We weren't, And I hate the notion of, like, let's go build our team and then all we'll need is a quarterback. We have not proven that we can do that. There's not one bit of proof that you can show me that we've been able to build a solid foundation, a solid team, and then go get our quarterback. Like, that's just not happened. We had our core for a long time, and then we got Carson mad late. Like, realistically, even if Carson was still here, he'd probably have, like, our core players, you know, the Ertz, the Kelsey, the Lane, maybe 3-4 more years. You know what I'm saying? Like, and individually. So like we didn't build a team. We kind of got lucky at the point that we got Carson and we got Alshon and things just clicked. So it's like I just don't get that notion that we gonna build some team, you know, with these picks that we're getting and it'll all make sense soon. Like I don't see where that confidence comes from, but like
this is on them. I mean, they have an opportunity. They gave up on their quarterback, right? Like they gave up on him when they should have just put him down for a game, which we all agreed on. Like there was a time where in a place where we're like, okay, it's enough. Like sit him down. Like there wasn't a person out there, no matter if you're Team Carson or not, that wasn't like have a seat, buddy, for a minute. Yeah. But do what you did for Donovan. You put him down and then you put him back in the next week. See what his response is going to be from having a seat. You never gave him that opportunity. You never gave this fan base an opportunity to see what a guy's response is when we're talking about sports, period. I teach my kids every day, what's your response to failure? Because life's about failure. So how are you going to respond to it? And we never had an opportunity to see it. It's a disgrace. And the fact that you signed them 3, 5, 6, 10 months before you drafted the replacement is the biggest disgrace and joke in professional sports history. The biggest. Right. It's ineptitude. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody trusts their decisions. Nobody trusts their eyes. We can't judge Jalen Hurts around slop, but we're going to judge Carson around slop. That's unfair. You can't have it both ways. Nobody can have it both ways. And this team tried to have it both ways. And then you literally benched your guy for 4 games and let that simmer. Are we okay? And then your guy came in and had a 50% completion percentage. Grow up, Peter Pan. This isn't college football. I'm so upset. I can't.
No.
I love Tom.
I agree with you, and that's why real quick. I want to get to the super chat and get back to some more college stuff. But no, I agree. I can be on Team Hurts now, but I'll never understand, and you'll never hear me come out and say that was a smart decision there. That was the start of crumbling his team, even if Jalen Hurts can pick it back up, because you do not sign a quarterback for $100 and whatever million. You do not say you put all the faith in him to just go behind his back, and you can say about him not being strong enough for competition. Okay, that's Carson's demons. Let's talk about the guy who bought a car, and then you buy a cheaper car, and now you want to ride a cheaper car. You just, why'd you buy that? No, it didn't make sense. It was a horrible decision, and Jalen Hurts can just be the guy, and I'm going to appreciate him. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a good move. It was a horrible move. But real quick, shout out to Bob with the $5 super chat. He said when Saban saw 145-pound Devontae Smith coming out of high school, he thought he was too small. Then he saw that same person beat all these corners at camp, and Saban fell in love. So he's saying football triumphs all that other extra stuff. And then shout out to Ray Bella.
You guys won't like this. He will be better than Jamar Chase. Write it down somewhere. Take a note. Clip it, whatever you want to do. Devontae Smith will be better than Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, remember something, and it's not a shot at him. Who did he play with? Joe Burrow, the number 1 pick in the draft, and the rookie of the year, Justin Jefferson, and them two would have been competing for rookie of the year if Burrow never got hurt. Makes me a little nervous because I feel like every catch he's wide open. Are you wide open because you're that good at route running? Or are you wide open because of the talent around you? Jalen Waddle goes out, and Devontae Smith says, "We're good.
Yeah,
we'll be all right."
I like you to Devontae Smith, but listen, I know you're no notes, but I gotta take this note. Hey, you need to have him sometimes.
And then halfway through this season, he'll have 1,000 yards, and we'll say, "Oh, well, there we go. We should have picked him, right?" But no, we have a guy who's a defensive lineman who's injured. Makes sense.
You're the guy from Miami.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys before we end this up, because this is a rare moment that we have all of you guys. I'm usually trolling you guys on NBA night, so I think this is the best time for me to bring this up. I just want to ask: Are the Philadelphia second placers a little bit nervous about my Brooklyn Nets, or what's going on, guys? Can we talk real quick? It feels good to be in first. I don't know if you guys remember how it is, but it feels good up here. So just how y'all feeling? Do y'all think y'all gonna compete in the playoffs with us? I just really want to know.
We're having a bad night already. And then
yeah. Ooh.
I think
that like
we win first. I think we get back in the first somehow. I don't know how, because you guys just can't like lose no matter who's playing. It's amazing, but I think we like fight our way back in the first. But either way, Joe, it's going to be first or second, and we don't have to worry about seeing it in the finals. And I don't know what RB's stance is on it, but I mean, that's my goal this year. Like it's house money if I get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So if you guys beat us, you should, right? But at least I know at least my young guys know what it takes to get there. And hopefully we can get over that hump the next year. But I want to whoop your ass. I mean, I want to take you down in 7. But I think go 7. I just don't know where the ball's going to bounce. I mean, I still heard from Kawhi. I got a picture of Kawhi over here. Somebody trolled me in the studio before COVID. I got a picture of Kawhi sitting right over here on the desk. I mean, it's haunting images. So I don't think we'll beat you because it's Philly. And you'll probably have a 49 bouncer from, I don't know, Harden, because we hate him. And you guys went on a James Harden 3 in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and my heart's broken again.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle that. Like, I mean, of course, the competitor in me, that would be great to be in there, but I don't know if I can handle that. But real quick, shout out to Ray. He said hey, guys, I'm talking realistic approach. We're going to contend in our division this year. All the negativity is killing me, I guess. I mean, I like the energy, but the division, I hate the Giants and the Cowboys, but low-key, the Giants got better. Washington got better. They all got better in increments, and until this draft comes, I'm going to go with RB. We haven't shown anything better, but to Tom's to your guys' point, I think the Sixers legitimately have a chance if we can just get into the playoffs healthy. And the way you said you think we're going to be in first, the Nets can't lose, but as long as Harden don't come back, I think they will fall off one. KD might miss a day or two. Kyrie, we do have, as long as Trae Young. I mean, the Hawks are playing good, but our schedule is very easy. We have some OKC 2.0s coming up, like. You know what I mean? We do. The Hawk twice with no Trae Young. We have a bunch of easy ones. Maybe Indiana. They're easy too, though. What do you think, RB, real quick, before we get back to football?
To connect this all together, first off, the Eagles need to take a page out of the Sixers ownership playbook. And that's all I'll say about that. But to relate this back to Philly, this man really knows how to kick people when they're down. Let me say this. Let me say this, man. Here's how we'll get the 1 seed back, because KD doesn't care. James Harden's hurt, and Kyrie will be at his sister's birthday party. That's how we'll do that.
You're the best.
We need the 1 seed because we want to play the Hornets and the Knicks rather than the Miami Heat, the Bucks, and then the Nets. If it goes to a playoff series, you know how I feel, man. It hinges on pretty much one player,
Ben Simmons,
who can be literally the deciding factor to bring us all the way, or if he wants to, shoot the ball 6 times in a playoff game and, settle for that.
By the way, 6 is the most consecutive games KD played since like 2 years.
Right.
So
right. And the Nets have played 7 games together. So just to let you know, this isn't 2K, all right? This isn't 2K21. This is NBA real life, all right? It's not like you put 99 overall, 98, 97, they just mesh. No, there's actually a thing called team chemistry. And when we get to the playoffs, I mean, I've seen each of these guys implode their teams before in a playoff series. So maybe that's the key. But the Sixers are going to have to be on their top game. No doubt about it.
True.
I've said this to all of you guys before, like, talking off, record and stuff like that. I've always said that the Sixers are probably the scariest team for us, just because, especially now with LaMarcus Aldridge not playing basketball anymore. Like, we have no big men. We have to rely on DeAndre Jordan to play more than 20 minutes a game, and that just, I don't know how that's ever going to happen. But I think it'll be fun. But I had to bring it up. I had to, what I'm saying? I had to.
It's more positive. It's more positive at this point. Like, we have something to look forward to.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
hey. But real quick, shout out to Sarato with a $5 super chat. He said, we could talk about receivers all day, but we can end up with Slater. And that's for you. If you're just getting in here, that's what kind of RB's take is. And he's not saying Slater is bad or good, but, he went over the data, and the Eagles last 27 out of the last 27 picks, 20 were either a D line or offensive line. And whether you like the Slater pick because you're good with building a foundational piece, but when you have like the Surtains, when you have the playmakers and the supposedly lockdown cornerbacks in your head, and it switches like that. And again, we're all not opposed to getting Slater if that's like worst case scenario and they're all gone. But if you have one of Devontae Smith and Slater there, and you have one of these cornerbacks and Slater there, it's just it's a Howie move.
Make the easy pick. Just make the easy pick. I think that's everybody. That's all everybody wants. And I would not be mad at him if they are a bust. If Devontae Smith is the clear-cut best player on that board and he ends up not being that good, I don't blame you, Howie. You took the best player. You know what I'm saying? Do not go and take Rashad Bateman at 12. And I'm not saying he sucks, but don't try to be the smart guy. Don't try and be like, nobody's looking at Terrence Marshall, and we might not get him that second round. So let's go ahead and take him at 12 so we make sure, like, bro, like, no, just go
like
get
the
the
wrong
best
LSU
player.
receiver.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he will do that. He will just try to make the smart pick. He wants to make the shocking pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't do that. Just make the right pick. Make the smart pick. Make the easy pick. Actually, don't make the pick. Just don't even make a pick. Just go somewhere else. Go I will pay for it. Go have a nice dinner with your family. Just miss the whole draft. I would be ecstatic if his car broke down on the way to the draft. I think that is my new like hope for the draft. Can we mock that? Can we mock like a broke down car? I would love that to happen.
Hey, I want to get your take on this real quick. How were you guys feeling when you knew John Dorsey was here for that limited time? Did that help you? Did you think that was going to be any type of helping in that war room until he went to Detroit? Or did you guys just say he's just here? It's still going to be Howie Roseman at that time?
Yeah. How long did we know? I just want to ask that before, because I think that was like something that came out like halfway through the season, right? And then he was gone.
That was the biggest decoy I maybe have ever seen in my life. Like, please tell me what did he do for this team? What did he do? Nothing.
Good. They like to look good. They like to act like they have great football minds around. They like to show off, right? It's like the person who really doesn't have money, but they show off like they have money. That's the Philadelphia Eagles right now. You know, and everything they do is show and little leaks and little things where now they can almost like shift blame a little bit, right? Like, well, John was here. We really didn't like what he was doing. Like, whatever. It's just a mess. And again, like Joe said, like halfway through the season, you're just like throwing that little tidbit to us. Thanks.
As if that did something.
And we did it with what's the other homie name that went to the Browns? Andrew Weidel or something like that.
Andrew Barry.
Andrew Barry. Thank you. Yeah, like we've done this with a bunch of people. We've had some great. We had John. John Harbaugh was on our staff as a special teams coordinator. Like, if you look at all the coaches that we let go, and move on, it's shocking. If you want to even go, most recent, Frank Reich, we obviously saw that they were trying to fire him before we even won the Super Bowl. So it's like, these guys don't know talent. They don't know anything to be. I don't know what they know. Maybe I don't even think he's good at contracts anymore. And that was like the one thing, that we were making memes about how, Howie Roseman was wheeling and dealing just 2 years ago. And now it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like how did he just lose all of that so quick? And it's partly us. We love you and hate you in the same breath. And that's just who we are. But that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to you have to make your bed every morning. You know what I'm saying? And that every morning it's going to look a little bit differently. And lately your bed has been a pigsty, Howie, and you're not doing anything to fix it. So I just want to see something change, man. I just want to see some change.
Sloppy Show with the $5 super chat. He hit it on the nose. I'd rather the Eagles just leave it in auto draft than try to be smart and overthink it. Because listen, I had some of my best picks in fantasy football, just leaving it on auto draft. They pick it. I'm like, dang, but what about this guy? This is a reception league, and oh boy, does this guy take me to the Final Four. So yeah, leave it on auto draft. Just straight leave it.
We're gonna take Rondell Moore at number 12. What if we took Rondell Moore at number 12? That would be probably the Howiest pick ever. Just take the fastest guy in the draft.
No, Cordy Pay is the Howiest. The guy from Michigan is legitly the one that he's going to try to come up on a mic and talk about it. We like to start from the trenches. He's going to have a Howie explanation for it, and it is legitly the biggest one that doesn't make sense to us, but it's something that he's going to come out and say, we knew he was going to fall to us at 12. We accumulated the extra picks. We got a guy who's really good off the edge. Brandon, he's going to come out and say that stuff. And I'm not going to listen to the interview. I'm just not.
They already compared him to Brandon Graham. They said he was a Brandon Graham clone. And that's like the wording that we use. I know it's our media mostly, but like the stuff that you say, it's like, why would you compare him to Brandon Graham? Or like, Tom, I think you guys brought this up, that one of the draft prospects is compared to Nathan Gary. Like, let's just fire him already. Like, like why would you put that on a kid? Like, that's the grimiest stuff ever. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. The stuff that comes out lately is just like, who makes this up, man? Who makes this up?
I got 2 bold takes for you guys, all right? And I'm gonna go with a Tom moment. Clip this, all right? Mark it down, screen record, do what you got to do. One of these 2 things will happen. It'll either be Pitts and Parsons right before us to Dallas and the Giants, or it'll be Surtain and Smith. One of those 2 will happen. And here's another bold take for you. In the top 5 rounds, Howie Roseman is going to draft the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
In the top of how many rounds?
Top 5. Maybe the 6 if we're lucky.
4. I might even say top 4.
No, okay.
Don't we have 2 4s?
Yeah, he'll get
2 3, something like that.
He's going to draft some what the hell is that guy's name? Clayton Thorson. He's going to draft a guy like that. Watch.
Oh my God!
Guy after the 5th round. I mean, I don't care about that, but if anything,
after the 5th,
if anything drafted 3 or above, I mean, there's going to be an issue.
That's the crazy thing. We might not be that upset about the first round, but he's going to miss somewhere, and we're going to be on that ass. We're going to be ready for it. Yeah. I already know.
Shout out to Witch King. He said with the $2 super chat, he said we haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2014. And the crazy thing is, Jordan Matthews legitly had like 3 yards short of 1,000. And I was rooting for him, but that whole show was ridiculous. Shout out to Ray Bello saying the Sixers are going to roll the playoffs. Philly. You need that. But yeah, man, like I said,
come on, son. Come on, you paid money to say that lie. Come on now. He does.
Haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2014. Do you know how bad that sounds for a team that literally won a Super Bowl? Like, come on, man.
The joke.
It's just sad, man. It's not like we haven't drafted wide receivers. That's the craziest part.
I know.
We've overdone it. Because I mean, starting this season when we were talking about just like drafts and stuff like that, I was like trying to make a point that we got to stop putting, our top draft capital into the wide receiver position, because we just keep on swinging at the same, pinata, if you will. Like, and it's not busting open. Like, let's fix something else real quick. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, I don't get what our issue is. Like, I really don't.
But like you said, like I'm going to remember that RB's take. I'm gonna be sick though if that happens, because like you said, my biggest fear is when we did trade back, and after I got the gut punch, the thing that couldn't get out of my head was this: the plan sounds good, don't got the guy to execute it, right? But the real thing that bothered me was, if the 12th pick is someone that we think is unsuccessful at first, we got to, or who knows what he's going to be. But the bad part is the Giants and Cowboys are kind of set up to really not be able to fail, because one of the reasons we think we might fail is because the guys are going to fall to the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spot, but them 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 might be able to clean up that generational type talent. They might be able to clean it up there. And if the Giants and Cowboys clean it up by taking the last 2 or 3 people there, it's just going to put the Eagles in a bad spot with a guy who can't do great with good spots, let alone a bad spot. And he's going to fall back into his mindset, which is O-line, D-line. And he's going to be able to justify it, because he's going to claim 2022, all the stuff they acquired, and bring up maybe the Super Bowl and how Brandon Graham got the strip sack. You see how he's going to say something that is just not fair. He shouldn't be allowed to talk.
You know why we're nervous though? It's because we know who Dallas is taking, right? Like one of 2 players. Like, it's almost solidified at this point. We know who the Giants are taking, right? Do we really know who we're taking?
No. And
No, we don't.
Michael
We're
Parsons
here-
is going to be on the board, and we're gonna
Tom, please.
and
Please, Tom.
I'm gonna lose my mind. I mean, it's as simple as
Yeah, at
that.
this point-
And I could see him dropping too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I could.
Bro, I'm gonna be upset.
We'll pass, and there's Warren Sapp ability on the defense side of the football that changes your defense for the next 10 years. But we'll take Quiddy Pay because Michigan got it done defensively. You know what I mean? Grow up. I mean, grow up.
We're gonna take like Creed Humphrey or Landon Dickerson or something like that. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna definitely take somebody that we shouldn't take. And I wouldn't be mad if it was somebody, if it's the best player available outside of quarterback. Okay, I can live with it in a certain sense, right? Like, as long as it's the best guy available, it's a clear cut. We know like this guy's gonna be, he should be great. We're not gonna take that guy. We're gonna take the guy that gets an umbrella, carried with him by his mom up to the podium. That's who we're gonna pick.
We'll take the nice guy.
We'll take the nice guy. The nice
Exactly.
guy. He went to Stanford.
He called us sir at our press conference, so we fell in love. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Shout out to us, Sarato again with the $5 super chat. He said, "Who is likely not to make the 53-man roster from last year or before, not counting trades or just cuts?" Go ahead, RB, take that real quick. Who do you think is, not going to make the roster, 53-man roster? I know you got a great candidate. You just talked about it, not wanting to see him play wide receiver no more.
Yeah. Who the hell are we choosing from at this point? It's like you're choosing from I don't know, man. Just pick whoever you want at this point. Pick whoever. And some of the vets that we might want to see get cut may not be able to get cut because we need them to play. We need them to nurture some of these other guys because, we don't draft day one starters. Like this is Howie Roseman here.
It's Philadelphia.
All right. What we don't draft day one starters anymore. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. And
I think everybody should get cut now. Realistically, if we're saying one person, I would say the person that's probably on the hottest seat would probably be like an Isaac Seumalo, depending on what we do at the draft. Like if we get another guard, I like Isaac Seumalo, but I think he's probably the weakest player. And we have like 3 offensive or left tackles, I should say. So I think that he might be a surprise cut.
They always wanted to slide him to center. He was supposed to be the replacement for Kelsey once Kelsey decides to stop taking these 1-year deals. That's what I thought.
And he's 28 now. So how old is the replacement gonna be?
And I just wanted to add to my whole offensive line theory. It's not just out of the air. You know what I mean? Our offensive line is headed towards some dark space, in my opinion. I just want to throw that out there. I don't think I thought Jason Kelsey was going to retire.
So did I.
Brooks has had 2 Achilles. Lane Johnson had a reconstructed ankle. Who the hell is our left tackle? You know what I mean?
That they messed up. They messed up. They missed up the surgery, bro.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, that's another reason why we're going to go offensive line. I'm 99% sure.
That's true.
Watch us go center.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna go to Landon Dickerson or Creed Humphrey or something. This guy, I know we're gonna be upset. I know I'm gonna be upset. I'm trying to open myself up to more positions, but I'm just gonna be upset. It is what it is. It is what it is.
I'll leave you with this. One image I can't forget from this past year. We were playing Green Bay, and I was watching the pregame stuff. They showed the amount of players that made the Pro Bowl from Green Bay in the last 3 years. I think it was 7 or 8. And they showed the last 7 years for the Eagles that we drafted who made the Pro Bowl. And there was only one. And that man is no longer a Philadelphia Eagle. So I won't speak on his name.
Something for change.
Yeah, it got to change. It got to change. It got to change. Not only the draft part got to change, the developing part, whether we blame it on Doug and or Howie just intervening too much analytics. Well, the square root of 97, I don't care about that. Put cleats on to go out there and play. That got to change too, but so does the whole injury bug, because even when we do get good players, who Jordan Howard, when he came here 3 years straight, he was right behind Zeke. He gets hurt. Malik Jackson gets hurt. Deshaun Jackson, even though he's always been hurt, but he's always played at least 8 to 9 games. He couldn't get that in 2 seasons. And he does it in a year. He did it with the Washington football team and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He played double-digit games. That's still pretty good. We could have got double-digit production. I would have been happy.
Someone in the chat said, and what has Green Bay won? Well, they won a lot more games than we did. I'll tell you that.
Their division multiple times. I mean, I don't know.
I like to go to NFC title games. So, I mean,
yeah seriously, those are pretty fun. We've been there before, right?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, you know, I do hate when people say like if we can't win the Super Bowl, they don't want to win. No, I'll take my lumps because your lumps turn to something. Like, you know, I talked to a couple people who were like, you know, let's bring it back to the Sixers real quick. It's like if the Sixers are not automatically in a championship, they don't want to see us lose in the Eastern Conference. So it's like we either got to be bad or 100% a chance to get to the championship. There's no in between, and like there might be an in between. The in between got to be Eastern Conference. It can't be a second round exit, but it's like, you know, you want to see that. You want to see the trajectory go up. You know what I mean? That's it. This team is brand new. The only thing that's not brand new on this team is Howie.
Who wouldn't take Andy year? So, you know, I mean, who wouldn't take just being in it every year? I think everybody would. So.
Well, we've been asked this question, right? Like, I feel like we all, like Eagles fans, like we've all had that conversation, whether it be like our father or our friend, and you're just like, you know, listen, I would get that one Super Bowl and we could suck for 10 years after. I just want that one Super Bowl. All you guys that wished on that star at 11-11 or whatever it was, you threw a penny in the wishing well, you got your wish. We got that one Super Bowl, and it looks like we're going to suck for 10 more years. So, you know, this is
that's one of those dumb questions that corners you. It's like, no, I'd rather a Super Bowl and 9 more playoff appearances. I'll take that. You know, like I don't have to choose between one.
Like a dynasty,
right?
It's like a dynasty, right?
The new norm. The new norm.
Yeah. The new norm. Oh my God! Imagine just not being lied to for a season.
But guys, listen. At the end of the day, it's 11 o'clock at night, and I know we can't sleep, but Thursday's coming. Whether we like it or not, it's coming. And hopefully we can work together again in a positive light, talking about we did it. I don't know how we did it, because how we didn't do it. I don't know how we did it, you know? But how we did it. So hopefully we can come on here post-draft, whether it's a couple days later, a week later, and say, wow, I think we got some day one starters. Or we just do Sixers content. But let me get this.
I appreciate you guys coming on though too. I appreciate Tom taking it. Tom, I know you mad busy, and RB, we've been talking about this for a long time, so I'm glad to get you on. And Mike, man, we talk junk in each other's like lives about how we're gonna hop on. So I'm glad this all came together. You know, finally, I'm glad we could all get together and just talk it up, chop it up.
I love this, man, and we've been talking for 2 hours. It doesn't even feel like 2 hours. Yeah, that's just how much there is to talk about. You know what I mean?
I'll feel it when I wake up at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
There you go.
I told Tom, I was like, I just want it to be like a man cave talk. Like, let's not go in with any type of agenda of what we're going to talk about. Let's just talk. And I knew that this would happen. Like, we all have stuff that we haven't been able to really say yet. So I'm glad we all got to. I feel a little bit better. I feel
cleansed. And I want
to
I want to thank you three, obviously, and this is a ton of freaking fun. And I love shooting it with you. And I want to thank our guests, the other guests who couldn't make it. You know, I want to thank you for joining. You know, that's all. Yeah. Wish everybody the best.
Thanks.
His DMs are open if you guys would like to discuss anything. But yeah. We had our therapy session at least. That's all that matters.
That's it.
I love you guys. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah, real quick shout out to CW Gearhead with another $10 super chat to close us out. He said, hey, at least we have this bright side. At least we're not Lion fans. I'll bleed green, win or lose. Tie, Eagles fan, tie. Win, lose, or tie. Eagles fan till I die. I don't like the word tie. The word tie kind of troubles me because you know, we'll find a way to tie this year and make it look like we have a 16-game season.
You know what really sucks, man? And I appreciate all you guys. Like I said, you know what really sucks is like an hour before the draft, I'm gonna start hyping myself up. The whole day I'm gonna be like, yes, the man's gonna be on the board. We get to pick 7. Oh snap, my guy's still here. My guy, we get to 10, we get to 11. The Giants go with someone. Oh my God, Parsons is still here. And then the rest is history, man.
Hey,
I said before, bro, the closer we get to the NFL season, the more unrealistic I get. So I'm sure by tomorrow I'll forget that I was ever, pessimistic about we'll see though. I hope so. I hope that this
is rough. But with that being said, we still 2 hours deep, got 160 some people watching. Again, we are live on 2 channels. Make sure you go and check everybody out. The names are on the screen. Philly Take with RB underneath me. Sixers Eagles content. Tom Arnone, No Notes, A2D Radio. They're all over the place. Definitely go check them out. Philly the podcast. We're both live, but if you haven't checked out either one of us, you know what to do. All you gotta do is watch a video. If you like it, do it. If not, you can block someone on Twitter. You know what I mean? With that being said, until next time,
I'm gonna have to deal with this probably, right?
Before you go, read Brokey's comment, because I've been getting this comment a lot on my videos. I think it's hilarious.
What right here. With the 12th pick in the NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select. I just want to thank the production in the studio. Last for 20 minutes. So anyway, the Eagles select Sarah Fuller, kicker.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Man. I think he already has the excuse though for the defensive end, man. I think it's just built in. It's built into tradition and just this. I don't know. We out.
Goose Fraba.
Peace, guys.